How are you feeling today? Do you feel fulfilled in life? The show will begin in 4 minutes. Are you ready? When was the last time you felt betrayed? When was the last time you felt loved? The show will begin in 3 minutes. Are you ready? What did it feel like to be in love? What is the most painful part of being in love? The show will begin in 2 minutes. Are you ready? Are you ready to be transformed? Are you ready to make a change? The show will begin in 1 minute. I hope you're ready. The show will begin in exactly 30 seconds. Get ready. What if I told you some of the men you came across and started dating stopped talking to you because you came across as desperate? But what if I also told you you can change that in the snap of a finger without even changing anything about yourself? If that still sounds confusing to you, don't worry. On today's show, we're going to be discussing 5 ways you come across as desperate to men. That way, you never make the mistake of being seen as anything less than the dream woman you know you are. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. Excuse me. How are you all doing? It's good to see you, okay? It's great to see you. Great to spend some time with you. Who we got up in the TikTok chat today? We got Rogue here. We got Bree here. We got Malia here. We got Goose here. We got SH here. We got Francine here. We got Parlin here. Sonia here. Foxy Red is here. Adorable is here. Who we got over in the YouTube chat? I see we got Ivy, one of our amazing channel members is here. Henya is here. Deshawn/Joanna is here. Tracy Niles, our amazing channel member, is here. Oh, shout out to Deshawn as well. She's a channel member as well. Who we got? We got Mary Kim. We got Simply. We got Amal. We got Cassandra. I think we had Cashley here earlier. We got Nicole, one of our amazing channel members. And we got lots more up in... Oh, and Electric Field is here. We got lots more up in the YouTube chat. Welcome, all of you beautiful souls. So good to see you. Alling, so good to have you here, okay? Let's get started. We don't want to waste any more time. We want to hop right into it. You know how we do, all right? So first things first, you got to spend, or sorry, I was going to say you got to spend more time with me. You already did spend a lot of time with me. The first one that makes you look desperate is begging men to spend more time with you. Okay, I know what you want, and I know that you like guys. Okay, where I understand that. And I know it's not easy to not just dump your feelings all over guys as soon as you meet them and you like them and you want to be with them. Here is the thing though. You have to understand. I need you to understand because I want you to get the guy that you like. But the problem is when it's the guy that you like, you start acting all weird and strange and it's a turnoff. I'm here to try to help you with that so that you don't present yourself that way. Begging men to spend more time with you, or even just asking them profusely, meaning just consistently all the time to spend more time with you, is going to make you look desperate because a couple of things are going to be occurring. He's going to be thinking through his mind when you're constantly begging him to spend more time with you. He's going to be thinking, well, first of all, why don't you have anything to do else in your day? Anywhere else to go? Anyone else to hang out with other than me? That you're always begging me to spend time with you. And second of all, am I the only good thing in your life that you wouldn't even want to go and do anything else? Do you actually not have anything you care about more than me? And so it does a really weird thing where a guy begins to think, well, I must be the best thing since sliced bread, and I must be the best thing in her entire life. Because if she wants to spend every second of every day with me, then she probably doesn't have anything better to do. Or she probably doesn't have anything that brings her happiness as much as I do. You know what that is, though? That's power. And at the very beginning of the relationship, unfortunately, you don't want to be giving the guys that you're talking to a whole lot of power, okay? You want to be making sure that the guys that you're talking to are put in their place, so to speak. And when I say put in their place, what I mean by that is they understand that you're entertaining them and you're going out on dates with them, one, because they're pursuing you, okay? That guy is pursuing you, asking you out on dates. Yeah, okay, let's see how it goes. Let's see what you got. And you're allowing him to court you and pursue you. And then number two, right, that you're one of his options, okay? Don't have to be dating 30 guys at once, but you're one of his options. And if he shows himself to be the best option or put his best foot forward, then maybe you might choose him. You don't want guys to have wield so much power in their relationships with you, especially from the very beginning, that they feel like they're the ones in control and they're the ones approving whether or not they want to be with you type of thing, okay? Don't beg men to spend more time with you. Don't ask them over text and don't ask them in person, okay? I know that this is hard. I know that it's hard, but I want you to refrain from asking men to spend more time with you. So let me be even more specific. If you're talking to a guy and he tells you, for example, the next time I'm going to be available for you or to hang out with you is 2 weeks from now. When you really like the guy, you're going to be in agony. Oh, 2 weeks. I have to wait 2 weeks to hang out. What am I supposed to do with the rest of my week? I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna be so bored. I don't want to be so bored. Can't you find time in your week before that we can hang out? Let's go to Crumble Cookie or something. Like, please. I don't want to be bored for 2 weeks. I'm gonna lose interest. I'm gonna be so sad. I'm gonna have nothing to do. Do not do that. Look in my eyes. Do not do that. You will look so desperate. And the thing about it is, what you don't realize is even the guys that you're dating or seeing that are nice guys, some of them won't tell you that when you're doing that, you're looking desperate. Some of them in some cases might actually say, oh, okay, you know what, since you said that, I guess, we can try and hang out, in 1 week as well, instead of making you wait the whole 2 weeks. But you have to understand, even when you do get out of him hanging out with him more frequently, right? After that, from you doing that, it's still going to be because he felt bad about not seeing you as frequently as you wanted to see him. And so it's still not good because now he's not hanging out with you or spending time with you because he genuinely wants to spend more time with you. He's hanging out or spending more time with you because he feels bad that you're so sad that you don't spend more time, that he doesn't spend more time with you. And so it comes more out of pity than it does out of his desire. And you want men to be operating and making decisions about their relationship with you and how much they see you and spend time with you out of their desire. Remember, one of the things that we do very heavily in the Players Club, I'm helping you. I'm like a vessel that's helping you understand how men think so that you can go out into the world knowing how they respond and react to things, and you can feed them very curated information and do very curated things, knowing that it's going to give them this response or make them think or feel this way. Then they're going to treat you or respond to you or approach you in a particular way because of how you presented yourself. Okay, so I say all that to say, you want to understand never to be begging men to spend more time with you, even if you feel in your heart of hearts, you're not seeing me frequently enough. We're not spending enough time together. I want to see you for longer hours, for longer stretches. Even if you feel that way, I want you to zip it. Zip it. Don't say a word. Okay. Why? Even if you're sitting at home crying your eyes out every day that you don't spend with that guy, I don't want you talking about that to him. And I don't want you messaging that to him. You keep your mouth shut. Okay? We don't want guys thinking that you're dating. We don't want them thinking that you're sitting around watching paint dry when he's not hanging out with you. And we also don't want them thinking that they're the best thing to ever come into your life, that when they're not hanging out with you, you literally have nothing else to do. It's very bad for you. It makes you look very low value, and it makes it look like you're so desperate. Go and dump that on your girlfriends, okay? This is where I want you to start compartmentalizing your friendships and relationships, okay? I want you to use all the trauma dump, all the information, all the, oh, I'm sad, why can't we hang out? Save that for me and your girlfriends, okay? At all the guys that you're dating, you don't talk about that to them. To the guys that you're dating, especially the ones that you just started dating, your life's great, your life's amazing, you're having fun, you're enjoying yourself, you're going out and doing you. It's not even about lying. You just want to present yourself in the way that you want to be seen. And unfortunately, when you start coming up to guys when you first meet them and say, oh my God, my world literally stops spinning when you're not in it, that I want to spend every second of my day with you because I have nothing to do other than spend time with you. Whenever you do that to a guy from the very beginning, they don't end up appreciating you. They only end up wanting to use you and then take advantage of you. So I don't want that for you, and I know you don't want that for you. So I'm trying to help you understand some of these things that you might say that might be honest and real to you and truthful to you are making you come across and look very desperate to guys. And then when you look desperate, they treat you as someone that's desperate. They start thinking, Oh, yeah, time to rub my hands like Birdman because it's my time to take advantage of your little missy. Okay, because when they recognize that you're so desperate for the attention, you're so desperate for the time that you literally would lose it if you spend, if you can't spend every single day with him, that's a lot of power. Okay, remember, in relationships, especially at the beginning, they're a battle of power. Then when you settle into the dynamic and it's understood, then you can relax a little bit. But at that very beginning, especially before you become his girlfriend, you want to make sure that that balance of power is in your favor, that you get to call the shots, that you get to say how it is, and you get to determine how things go. Not him being the one pacing things, telling you when you can't do something or when you can't do something. It's you. No, you don't want that. You don't want that, okay? Right? Someone said, how do we turn this around? You turn this around by stopping it, okay? So if you've made that mistake in the past, you stop that. You stop begging for a man's time. I'm going to jump through the screen. One day we're going to have a 3D stream, and I'm going to jump through the screen into your house, into your bathroom, into your bedroom. And I'm going to tell you, you better stop begging men for their time. You don't beg men for their time. If a man is remember, the guys that you're seeing should be coming up to you and approaching you. Okay? The guys that you're seeing, you shouldn't be coming up to them. And your friend shouldn't be going up to them and saying, oh, my friend thinks you're cute. No. You don't do that. That's not what you do. The guys that you're seeing and you're spending your time with, you're seeing them because they approached you, okay? And when they approached you, you got to set the standards and expectations and determine what you wanted out of the relationship if he was going to get access to you, okay? So I say that to say you're not going to be begging any men for their time. It's them that should be asking you and begging you for your time. And then you determine, I don't know, you got to convince me. Show me what you got, right? We want you to set the dynamic in your favor. When you're desperate like that, the dynamic is not going to be in your favor. You're going to be the one pushing. You're going to be the one begging. You're going to be the one asking. And he's going to be the one deciding, do I want to give it to her today or not? And you're not going to be able to set any boundaries when you're the one pushing that far ahead. All right. So number one was to spend more time with me, begging to spend more time with me. Number two, I know I'm going to get mad about this one. You guys know how I feel about this. Number two is asking men to reply to you faster. Please, why can't you reply every 5 minutes? You're a cop, but why can't you put that drug bust to the side and send me a quick message while you're tying them up in handcuffs? You're just sitting in the police car doing your speedometer. How much does it really take for you to text me back? You're just sitting in the car. It's parked. Stop. Get a grip. Step outside of your house, go hang out with your girlfriends, go paint a picture, go read a book, go rub one out, do something. Do not sit by the phone waiting for him to text you. Do not. You will always lose and you will always spiral that way. You also do not need to be messaging or talking to. Some of you message this and some of you call guys out on this when you see them in person. Don't be going up to guys and telling them, oh, so you're too good to text back. No, stop it. Stop it. Don't be saying nothing about, oh, you take too long to text back. Oh, you must be too busy. You can't text back or blah, 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 blah. No, you're doing things with your life. You have things going on. If that guy doesn't want to text back, cool. You're not bothered about it. I know that it's hard and I know that it's difficult, but you have to adopt an unbothered mindset, because if you get thrown off by every single little thing that he does, you're never going to be happy and you're always going to be miserable and upset and feel anxious about everything. You can't be in a space where simply a guy not messaging you back for 5 minutes or an hour is going to throw your entire day off. That is not sustainable. It's not sustainable for your relationship. It's not sustainable for your happiness. And it's not sustainable for your desirability, because guys will begin to not desire you when you're in that level of anxiousness. Please text me. Why don't you text me? Why don't you talk to me? Why don't you message me more? Why don't you this more? Why don't you that more? Okay. SH says, what about if it's hours? Even if it's hours, I want you to say nothing. See, okay, this is the mindset I want you to adopt. Okay. I want you to listen to me very carefully. This is so important. I know it's Friday, but this is a really important show. The mindset you have to adopt and understand is if men want to talk to you and speak to you more, they will reach out to you to speak to you more. I know it sounds so simple in theory, but I need to keep saying it so you never forget it. Because sometimes when you're spiraling, I know that you spiral sometimes. We're friends. When you spiral, you're going to convince yourself, oh, he's not reaching out because his cousin's best friend's grandma is in the hospital. And since he's literally feeding her medication in Buckley's through her nostrils and he's controlling the IV, he doesn't really have time to text me. So maybe if I text him instead, it'll ping his cell tower when he's in that hospital because, you know, his service is low. And when it pings his cell tower, he'll remember to message me. Stop. Allow the men in your life that want to reach out to you and speak to you more, allow them the space to do so, and recognize that if they're not doing so, then that's for a reason. It's not because of some ulterior this and that, right? Of course, men can be busy. Of course, they can have things to do. I'm not saying that they won't be, but don't get so caught up in, oh, he hasn't messaged me in hours. At this point, that just means he doesn't like me, or that just means it's something else other than him being busy. Cool. That's fine. That still doesn't mean that you need to then message him and fill in the blanks for him. That still doesn't mean that you need to then reach out to him and say, hey, why haven't you messaged me? Allow him to show you what his intention level is in you, what his interest level is in you, and how much he actually desires you and wants to see you and speak to you. Allow him to show you that and get comfortable understanding that the men that you're dating will respond to you and text you as frequently or as infrequently as they feel like doing. Because really and truthfully, very same with, oh, spend more time with me. The same thing applies in the sense that when you ask him to text you more and text you more frequently, he might even end up doing that. But it's not going to be because he necessarily wants to text you more frequently or talk to you more frequently. It's because he feels bad about how much pain you're in for begging him to text you more frequently. So in reality, he's not operating off of his desire to speak to you more. He's operating off of his pity and the fact that he feels bad that you're in so much pain. And you want guys to be operating off of their desire, right? Meaning that they're making decisions and making moves and taking action based on how much they want you and want to see you and speak to you more, rather than making decisions based on, damn, I feel bad for her. She's got nothing going on in her life, and I feel so bad about the fact she's got nothing going on. I guess, you know, I'll be the one to talk to her so she doesn't feel like she has nobody. That's a very unattractive place for you to be in, especially at the very beginning. I'm not saying you can't have needs. I'm not saying that you shouldn't want to talk to your partner or you should want to express your feelings, but you have to understand, especially at the beginning of your relationship, you're going to come across so desperate when you're constantly begging him to talk to you more, right? Especially if he's not meeting you there, right? He's not meeting you there, meaning he's not the one saying, I want to talk to you more. You're the one saying, I want you to talk to me more. And then you're constantly going to end up pushing forward and becoming more anxious because you're going to be like, I want you to talk to me more. Then as you say that and he doesn't do that, you're going to start pushing forward more, thinking that you're losing him, and then he's going to pull back more, and we're going to go be in a whole big mess where he's all the way pulled back and you're all the way leaning forward, pursuing him being the man. Okay, we don't want that. So do you guys understand why those two are so important, right? Spend more time with me and reply to me. Let me get to some of these donations here. I missed one that came at the very beginning. Okay, thank you so much. Oh wow, we got a lot of people who became players today and became members of the chat. By the way, this weekend and next weekend, I'm gonna be putting together the plan for what I'm gonna do for you guys that are members of the YouTube channel. I want to put together some special videos for you guys, but I also want to make sure that it's like valuable valuable, in addition to the stuff that we do here as well. So I'm going to be putting together my plan for you all, special people. I see a lot of you guys became members today. Okay, so shout out to you guys. Next, here we have Celeste, who donated $2. She said this is going to be good. Okay, I guarantee it's going to be good. And we have Jay, who donated $5 in the YouTube chat. She says, I complained to a guy that he didn't respond for 12 hours. It's been a week now and he hasn't messaged me. What should I do? This is perfect. Jay, I'm so glad that you asked this. I'm so glad that you asked this question, because I know some of you are in this position as well. Like I mentioned at the beginning when I started this point, in reply to me, you have to understand and be at peace with the fact that when a guy wants to message you and talk to you, he will do that. I know it's painful and I know it builds and bubbles your anxiety like no other, but you have to accept that as truth, because the reality of it is, like Jay just mentioned in her question, even when you called the guy out on not messaging you for 12 hours, he still didn't message you after you calling him out, right? You complained. Right. So you basically bit the bullet and said, you know what, I'm going to put my ego away and I'm just going to complain. And so hopefully when I complain, he's going to message me. Right. And you complained about him not messaging and he still didn't message you. So now you look desperate, right? Unfortunately, you look desperate because you begged him, why don't you talk to me? Why don't you want to text me? Why don't you want to message me? And then still he doesn't message you. So you don't get the message and you put yourself in a position where you don't have the power either. So now he's kind of seeing it and thinking, well, I can message you whenever I want because you'll be ready for me whenever I come there, right? You don't want a situation like that. And so the best thing for you, Jay, if you're wanting a direct answer, the best thing for you to do now is nothing. You don't want to and that's part of the mistake, right? That's part of the mistake when you see that a guy is not messaging you and you call him out. Actually, Jay just said it, right? He became defensive, right? And when you call a guy out saying that, oh, you're not messaging me enough, or you're not talking to me enough, or you're not taking this serious, they're always inclined to become defensive because it's kind of like an attack on their character. Oh, you don't like me, or you're not taking this serious, or blah, blah, blah. And then the guys are going to say, well, no, I was just busy, or no, I was just doing that. How many, okay, let's be for real for a second. Because I know when you're saying, hey, please text me more, why don't you text me, blah, 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 you're coming from a good place. But like, let's even like just quickly go through the logical like outcomes of this. When you complain to a guy, hey, why aren't you texting me? You haven't texted me in this many hours. You haven't talked to me in so long, or why don't you want to message me or contact me more? Let's think about this. What is he going to respond to that? What are the likely responses? Is he going to respond and say, oh, I haven't been texting you more because I just don't want to and I don't find you that interesting, so I'm just kind of fizzling out the amount and frequency in which I talk to you up until we just stop talking altogether? Or do you think he's going to say, oh, I've actually started talking to this new girl that I like even more than you, and so I'm slowly phasing you out of my life. That's why I'm not talking to you anymore. Like, you have to understand, whenever you complain about that, guys are always going to say the simple answers: I'm busy, I've been doing this, I've been doing that, I've not been feeling well, I've been stressed out, there's always going to be an excuse. So really and truthfully, you're never going to be satisfied with any answer that he gives. So there's no real purpose to you complaining about it, because at the end of the day, his frequency is likely going to stay the same, meaning the amount he contacts you is likely going to stay the same. And whatever the actual reason is, he's most likely not going to communicate that to you. He's just going to tell you something abstract like, I was busy and I was doing stuff. Okay. So you're better off not calling him out and allowing him to show you how much interest he really has in you, okay? In fact, it's the better way to go about your relationships with guys, that they show you exactly how much interest they have with you. That's one of the biggest mistakes you're making, because when you don't allow guys the space to show you how much interest they have in you, you don't get to actually know that to be true. And so if you're unsure about that, or you're confused about that, what do you do instead? You ask him questions like, hey, do you still like me? What do you want in this relationship? Do you want us to take this seriously? And what do? They lie to you. But then what do they do after that? They take action on not really taking this seriously or not really responding to you. So then you're confused. But I want you to understand, you have to allow men the space to show you their level of interest in you. You can't get so bent out of shape that he's not replying to you that you then feel it's necessary to take the space up and ask him to respond to you more frequently or talk to you more frequently. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys? Right? You really don't want to do that. You want to avoid calling a guy out on not responding to you or messaging you more. Okay, once again, you should have other things to do in your life and with your time other than sit around watching paint dry, waiting for him to message you. Okay, and if you don't, we need to start getting your life together so you do have other things. Okay, there should always be at all times something, not someone, something that you can someone said I missed a spot on my umbrella. There's always something that you can there should be always something that you can fall back on and focus your energy on that isn't just sitting around and waiting for that guy to message you back. There should always be something like that. Okay? All right? Make sure of that. If you don't have that, we need to start working on that for you, okay? Does that make sense to you guys so far? All right. So someone says, how can I get my question answered? You go into our Discord. Okay. You got to hop in the Discord. The link is in my bio. Go in there and you ask it in relationship advice. So number 1, spend more time with me. Number 2, reply to me. Okay. Number 3, this is stop pooping time. Okay. Pay attention now. Okay. Everyone focus. Look in my eyes now. We're going to get so serious here. Number 3 is overstaying your welcome. There's a huge problem here. Okay. We're going to have a discussion. Do not make the mistake of overstaying your welcome with guys. This is something actually pretty subtle that you won't realize you're doing. But it's a mistake and you won't come across how I know you want to come across. Here's the problem. I'm going to paint you a picture. You start seeing a guy that you meet somewhere out. Let's just say you meet him out and you guys go on one date. The date is great. Have a good time. You go home. You guys go on 2 dates. 2 dates. It's great, right? You're having a great time. You're enjoying yourself. Now the 3rd date, you're like, wow, I like this guy. He looks nice. He's got a good job. He's a good guy. He makes me laugh. We have a good time. So now you're like, okay, I feel comfortable with him. We can start hanging out a little more casually. It doesn't always have to be a dinner date. So then you go over to his house on this 3rd date. You guys are drinking some wine, spending some time together. And then you decide, okay, I like you. I like where this is going. I really want this to work. And, I've drinking some wine. So now I'll sleep over. Okay, it's not a big deal. I like you, you like me. It wasn't planned, but I drank some wine and I drove and I don't want to be drunk when I'm driving, so now I'll sleep over. He's like, sure, you sleep over. He might even be the one that mentions it. You sleep over. Let's have a good time. Let's enjoy ourselves. You sleep over. You guys cuddle in bed. Maybe you guys make out a little bit. It's nice and intimate. You guys have some nice little cuddle time. You're so close and all that stuff. You're like, wow, I really like this guy. He's so amazing. He's so awesome. Then you wake up the next day and you're here. Remember, this is the 3rd date and you're here and he wakes up and, let's just say today is a Saturday. So there's not that much to do. And now you went from the Friday into the Friday night into the Saturday morning and you're here. And let's say you guys wake up, you kind of laze around a little bit. You make out a little bit more in bed. He feels on your dump truck. And then you guys actually get up out of bed at 12 p.m. You get up out of bed at 12 p.m. You guys go to the living room. You're watching a little TV and stuff like that. You eat some snacks and you're still there. And since it's Saturday now, you guys don't have anything to do on Saturday. Now the Friday date has turned into Saturday morning. That's now turned into Saturday afternoon and you're still there. And then Saturday afternoon comes and you guys, having fun and just laying and you're cuddling and you're watching Netflix and you're just thinking to yourself, oh, damn, I'm having such a great time. If I just had my little makeup and stuff, I would just go, or my makeup remover, I just get my makeup remover, take it off and, we could chill some more, but I don't have any of my stuff here. And he's like, oh, well, there's a spot down the street, just across the street, there's a Shoppers Drug Mart. You can get some of your stuff and then you can stay over some more. So you're all excited and you're all hyped up and you're like, okay, let's go in the wood. I'll go get my makeup remover and all my stuff and then I'll stay over some more. And then you stay over for a second night. Okay. And this is the thing. This is where I want you to, what I want you to see here. Unfortunately, even when guys, this is the weirdest part. When guys ask to see you more and spend more time with you, especially at the very beginning, it's a trap. Because what's going to happen in the example that I gave, you're going to go over and you're going to sleep over for the second night in a row. So now Friday has turned into Saturday, has turned into Sunday. You're going to wake up on Sunday, and by the time you leave on Sunday, he's going to be sick of seeing your face. Not because you're a bad person, not because you're unattractive, but simply because you've jumped off too fast and gone too far before there was time for him to build up the emotions of the vasopressin, right, that he's supposed to build when he misses you and wants to see you more, and his desire for you, right? You want guys to see you more because of their desire for you, but you still want to leave them unsatisfied. You can't leave them satiated right from the very beginning, because you know what they say after that. I don't need to see her for a little bit. After you spend those 3 nights in a row at his house on that third date, he's going to say, damn, that was great. I had some fun, but I saw her 3 nights in a row. So I probably don't need to see her for another week and a half. I got to catch up on work. I got to do this. I want to hang out with friends. And I just, I saw her a lot. We slept together. We hung out. We chit-chatted all day. I'm good for like a week and a half at least. And that's a lot of times where you get guys where you'll spend time with them. So let's say you spend a day with them, or you'll spend 2 days in a row with them. And then after the 2 days in a row is over, he won't text you much for the next couple of days, because he essentially needs and I'm not saying this to diss you, I just want you to understand what's happening. He essentially needs an emotional break from you. Okay? Not because you're a bad person, but you have to understand there's a buildup to spending every day with someone. Okay. And when I say every day, I mean from the wake up when we're brushing our teeth, to eating breakfast together, to eating lunch together, to being on the couch together, to going out together, and then going to sleep. There's supposed to be a build up there. Not supposed to happen when you still are unsure how you feel about someone and you're still learning them a lot. Right? Are you following what I'm saying? And so I say that to say a lot of times it can become a trap for you, and you end up overstaying your welcome, thinking, oh, we're getting along so well, so fast. And then all of a sudden he's sick of you. And then you're wondering why the guy that you thought things were going so well with is now kind of pulling back away from you and not seeming as interested in you anymore. And I'm here to help you understand that comes when you overstay your welcome. Why? Because remember, when we talked about asking and begging someone to hang out with you, begging someone to reply to you, it makes it seem like you have nowhere else to be and nothing else to do. And I know this is unfortunate, because some of you might be like, well, Tomisin, the only times I stayed over was when I actually was free, when I actually didn't have anything to do. It's not because I'm desperate. It's not because I have, I have no life, but I simply was actually free at the time. So I ended up staying that. I know it comes from a good place. And I know you're not doing it intentionally. I just want you to understand, by the time you overstay your welcome, the guys in that position, they can't help but think to themselves, yeah, I'm good for a little bit. I like you and you're amazing, but I'm just, we don't need to see each other every single day. And because we saw each other 3 days in a row, we can take a little bit of a break here, right? And they might not say that to you, but they start thinking that subconsciously and thinking, yeah, I like her, but I don't necessarily miss her right now because I just saw her for 3 days in a row. Okay. And a lot of times for some of you, if you're lucky, at least that guy wants to spend time with you and he wants to actually be with you. So it's not hitting him that hard. But for some of you, when you overstay your welcome, you're not realizing, because guys can do this sometimes without letting you in on what's actually going on in their mind. You can overstay your welcome thinking, I love spending so much time with you. Meanwhile, he's thinking, damn, I like smashing and I like, just casually hanging out. But this 24-hour thing is kind of messing with me. And then they start making excuses. Maybe I think I do got to do something later, or I think I do got to go somewhere later. You don't want guys. I know that this is going to sound horrible and you're probably going to cringe when you think about this if you've done it. You don't want guys that you go out on dates with telling you that they got to go somewhere or that they have a thing. I call this stop whooping time for a reason. If you find yourself in a position where a guy's looking at his clock or looking at his watch or looking at his phone and saying, oh yeah, I got to run somewhere, or oh yeah, I got to go do a thing, or oh yeah, I got to... get all your stuff, grab your bag, grab your lipstick, grab your chapstick, pull your pants up if your pants are at your ankles, tighten up your belt, put your boots on, walk out that door as fast as you humanly can. Do not allow the period in which he says, yeah, I think I got to go do something else, and the time in which you're still there to go on. You do not want to overstay your welcome. And the reason for this is very, very important, because the position that you're in your feminine energy, you want the guys that are in your life that are dating you, you want them to always be coming to you. So they have to have a certain level of hunger and desire for you consistently in order to consistently continue coming to you. Right? You're not going to be asking him on dates. You're not going to be asking him to spend time with him. You're not going to be asking him to go here and go there and do this and do that, right? And there's a reason for that. You want to stay in your feminine and you want him to continue pursuing you. And because you want him to continue pursuing you have to be very careful. Very, very careful and meticulous about making sure that you don't allow him to become so satiated or overwhelmed by the time he's spending with you that he no longer has that desire or hunger for you. You really, really have to pace it here, and you really, really have to be hyper aware of, okay, I can see you're starting to it's starting to become mundane to you now, right? And you're spending time with me, but it's not feeling as magical to you anymore. Then you take a step back, you leave so that he can continue missing you again, okay? I know that sounds really horrible and that sounds really hard to do. I promise you in the beginning, it's not that hard, because you're not even supposed to be spending every day together anyways, okay? You want guys over time to get to see you and spend more time with you. And you want them to earn that because they're consistent with you, but you also want them to have a hunger and desire for you so that they can continue pursuing you and asking you out on more dates, right? Some of you wonder, you guys ask me, Tomisin, how come I went on one date with the guy and the date lasted 8 hours and then now he doesn't want to speak to me for the next week? Well, that's part of your problem. When your date lasts 8 hours and it's the first date and it's his first chance to meet you, it's very difficult for him to say after that, oh, I want to see her again very soon. That's exactly why I give you guys the rule. Whenever you're in that first month, you do 1 date a week and you keep it at a maximum of 2 hours for that in-person time. Okay, that's not including transportation. When that first month, you only do 1 date per week and you only do it a max of 2 hours. Even if he begs and pleads, scratches the floor, claws, bites, grinds his teeth and begs you to see you more than the 1 week, you don't allow any more than the 1 week. I don't care how much he begs. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much begging and asking and pleading that he does, he will still want to go out with you the next week. If he really is that hungry and thirsty and desires you that much, you need to keep that 1 week as a solid technique and strategy for you, right? Don't fold on that whatsoever, okay? Right? Someone says, no, 1 time a week. So this is the schedule that I tell you guys to do. You do 1 time per week for the first month. Then the second month, you can do 2 days, 1 date per week for the first month. The second month, you can do 2 dates per week, but they both still last only 2 hours, not including transportation. So not including the time it takes you to get there, time it takes you to get back, and set up time. The time you're actually together on the date, wherever you are, 2 hours maximum, go home, okay? Same thing for the second month, 2 hours maximum for 2 dates and go home. Same thing for the third month, 3 hours maximum for the 3 dates, right? So for the third month, you're going to do 3 dates per week for the 2 hours of in-person time. Then you go home. Okay. And I really, really mean that. Some of you guys are like, Tomisin, this sounds so like, why do I have to do this? It makes no sense. Because we want him, remember, he's pursuing. We want him to continue asking you out on dates continuously, time after time after time after time. So we want it to be a quality enough that he can remember it and enjoy his time with you, but we don't want it to be overly extended where after the date he says, yeah, I don't need to see her for another week, okay? We want you focused on the right place and we want you keeping a balance there that he can continue asking you out multiple times, okay? Right? Does that make sense? Right? Someone says, what if he traveled to see you? Traveled from where? Just another city? If he traveled from this another city, like I said, we're not counting transportation time. You still keep it at one date, one date per week for the 2 hours. Okay. There is no reason unless a guy is, someone said long distance, unless a guy is coming to see you from like another country and you guys don't see each other, any more than once every 3 or 4 months. That is the only exception in which you can spend more time with him, because obviously there's going to be an extended period of time where you're not spending time with him. But if you are in a situation where your man is capable of seeing you more than one time a week, each and every week, right? Then you do this strategy. So I don't care if he lives an hour away. It's still possible for him to see you more than one time a week if you really wanted to. You keep it at the strategy. The only people that would be using a different strategy are people in long distance where you're dating someone who you're not seeing for 3 to 4 to 5 months of the year. Okay, because obviously that's unrealistic. Why would someone travel to a different country and only see you for 2 hours in the day? That doesn't make sense. Okay, so make sure you're not overstaying your welcome. And even if you're in long distance, whatever situation you're in, make sure that you're not allowing things to go too far for too long, that you're not able to pace yourself, or he starts to be able to say, oh, well, yeah, I'm kind of bored of you, or things like that. Okay. So number 1, spend more time with me, right? Number 2, reply to me. Number 3, don't overstay your welcome. Now, number 4, you can't be an I'll change anything about myself type of girl, okay? I know you want to make your man happy. That's fine. But you should be making your man happy. Not randos that you go on dates with, okay? The guys you go on dates with are randos, okay? Until you actually start building up this relationship and building it to what it's supposed to be, then you can start thinking about, okay, what do you like? What are you interested in? Okay, like what can I do to turn you on more and things like that, okay? At the beginning, though, you cannot be hyper-focused on changing everything about yourself as soon as he says, oh, I like this better, I like that better. Let me give you a direct example of what I mean. If you start seeing a guy that you just met, right, and you go out on a couple of dates with him, and you start hearing when he's showing you, let's say for whatever reason, he shows you pictures of his exes, and you start looking on his following list, and he's following a bunch of blonde models, and all of his exes are blonde girls, and you're sitting there, you're like, I'm a brunette. He clearly is in love with blondes. And so you start thinking, and he starts saying, yeah, my ex with this and da-da-da-da, and she's blonde and she's da-da-da. And you start thinking, oh, well, maybe I'll change my hair to blonde because he clearly is really into blondes and I don't want to be what he doesn't like. It's a mistake. Grave mistake. Be you. Be you. Do not change or adjust yourself, and don't even present the idea that you're willing to change and adjust yourself to be more of what he wants in the beginning. Why? You need to come standing your ground saying, I am who I am. I love who I am. If you don't like that, that's fine. Doesn't bother me, doesn't affect me, doesn't make me mad, but we should go our separate ways. Because if you don't like me, who I am and how I talk, how I laugh, let me know. Let's have a conversation so that I don't have to waste time on you, because I need to be with someone that I'm compatible with being me, not I'm compatible with someone if I'm someone else. Because you do not go into your relationship with another guy and you learn what his ex was like, what she looks like, and you try to become more like his ex. Be you. Now, that doesn't mean you don't want to improve yourself and be the best you can and be the most attractive you can. Of course you can. But don't try to change aspects of who you are to be more like the girls you think he likes. If you think your man loves blondes and he's dating you and you're brunette, stay brunette. Okay? If you had no intention of changing your hair color before you met him, you keep your hair color exactly what it was. Do not be changing who you are or what you're like or your aesthetic or the way you talk or the way you walk for some other guy. And the craziest part is, even when you do it, you're doing it so that he'll like you more. And the irony of it is, when you actually end up doing it, he only ends up liking you less because he recognizes that you're making the change simply for him and because he likes something different. So what is that? That's a demonstration of power, because as soon as he doesn't like something or he wants you to make a change about yourself, you immediately make that change. So what's that going to communicate to him? Oh, I have a lot of power in this relationship. She's going to change or adjust herself based on whatever I want or need in that moment, even if she has to sacrifice what she wants in that moment. So what's that going to tell him? What I want and what I need is way more important than what she wants or what she needs. Because anytime I want an adjustment made, she will make that adjustment. No compromise needed, no discussion needed. Who has a lot of power now? He has a lot of power. And what are guys inclined to do when they recognize how much power they have over you, especially very early? They're usually gonna misuse and abuse that power, meaning they're gonna take advantage of you, they're going to extract from you, and then they're gonna give you nothing in return, drive you around in circles, and then discard of you when they feel like discarding of you. We don't want that for you, and we don't want to put you in that position. We don't want to make you look desperate, so I'm advising you, do not go into your talking stages, your dating stages, and start changing things about yourself to be more like the guy that you like now, okay? Even if you're in a situation where you recognize, damn, he definitely is into this particular type of girl, or he definitely does like this particular type of thing. Don't be trying to change or adjust yourself thinking that, oh, if I do more of that, he's going to like me more. He won't. He won't. You're not going to be more attractive. You're not going to be any more interesting or enticing. He's not going to talk to you anymore. Because I know that's one of the first things that some of you run to. If you see a guy's not really showing you proper attention, you start running to trying to change yourself or change yourself to be more of what he wants, thinking that when you do that, he's going to be showing you more attention. It's a mistake. You'll put yourself in the trap and he still won't talk to you more. Okay, that's being what they call, what other people call being a pick-me-sha, right? Where you're trying to change or adjust yourself to be more like what he wants. Guys also are capable of recognizing that, right? Guys are able to see that, hey, I just met you. I'm a stranger to you. You're a stranger to me. We don't really know each other. And already you're trying to bend over backwards and forwards to be whatever I like. Even to the point where you're changing your hair color, changing your style, or changing the way you dress to be what I like. Be you. Feel comfortable as you. Embody you, because at the end of the day, what matters more than anything is that you look in the mirror and think that you're hot, think that you're sexy, think that you're amazing, think that you're approachable, because that confidence is what's going to make you attractive, not that other people. Because if you place all of that confidence on whether or not other people think you're attractive, you're going to be down in the dumps, because when people don't validate you, you're going to feel like you're worthless, and we don't want that for you. Okay, so you gotta make sure you're taking care of you. Don't wear a red blazer because someone else told you to wear a red blazer. Don't wear a jumpsuit because someone else told you to wear a jumpsuit. Don't wear a mini skirt because someone else told you to wear a mini skirt. Wear what makes you feel comfortable and what makes you actually feel hot and sexy. That way, when you go out, you can have that confidence that will be attractive to other people, okay? Be you. You have to be you. Don't be an I'll change anything about myself type of woman. Guys will think it's desperate and they'll only look to take advantage of you, okay? Does that make sense? Sin said, this is why you shouldn't find out who his ex is. No, I still want you asking questions about the ex, because the ex will always give you answers and insight as to where he is in his mind and how he feels, and whether, because some of you don't ask about exes, then you don't realize he's still with his ex. So you do want to ask about exes, but you're not allowing that to phase what you do with you and for you, okay? What he does with his ex is what he did with his ex. And recognize also that clearly, no matter how many exes look the same or sound the same or dress the same, clearly it didn't work out because they're exes. So that formula doesn't really yield results. You have to also be thinking that when you're dating people, right? That the exes are exes for a reason. So you can't take their template and try to make it your template when that technique clearly hasn't yielded the result in being in the relationship, because that's an ex for a reason. You have to recognize that as well. So don't be so worried when you start noticing a pattern that you think, oh, I got to be like the exes now. Actually, you should be less like the exes, if anything, okay? So Sunny says, what if they have multiple girls? What does that even mean? What do you mean if they have multiple girls? What is that referring to? So number 1 was to spend more time with me. Number 2, reply to me. Number 3, overstayed welcome. Number 4, I'll change anything. Don't do that. Number 5 is over complimenting. I told you guys this before. Don't listen. I love some of these other content creators. I do. And I know that they mean well. And I know that they're giving you their best advice that they possibly can. Okay. By the way, if you guys want me to repeat any of the points, they're all available on my YouTube because I'm live on YouTube at the same time as TikTok. So just go onto my YouTube stream. It's Tomisin Atobatele. Just type it in on YouTube. Type in my first name. You'll see the YouTube stream live at the same time, and then you can rewind all the points. Jasmine, you don't have to memorize them. You can rewind them. That's on my YouTube. So number 5 was over complimenting. And I know other YouTubers and content creators have told you compliment a guy's t-shirt. Tell him he looks nice. Tell him his eyes are nice. Tell him he's got a nice smile. All this jabber. It's useless. In fact, when you over compliment guys, you will actually come across as desperate. Why do you need to over compliment someone that has approached you? Clearly, they like you. Clearly, they're interested in you. This is actually part of I set this strategy up so that you can be confident and sure within yourself and not be anxious wondering what things mean. Let me explain this to you. There's a reason why I tell you, do not be going out on dates with any men that don't approach you. Don't even entertain them. Any man that you have to text first, any man that you have to call first, any man that you have to reach out to, or you have to ask for his number, or you have to go up to him, you do not go out on dates with any of those men. There's a reason that I tell you that. Because some of you guys are like, oh, well, I should, but what if I think he's cute? There's a reason I say that. Why? Because when he approaches you, that is confirmation for you that you don't need to overextend yourself. Are you following what I'm saying? You can use that to constantly reassure yourself. He approached me for a reason. He came up to me for a reason. He clearly likes me, finds me interesting, and finds me attractive, or else he would have never approached me. Nobody held a gun to his head to do that. Nobody forced him to do that. Nobody pushed him to do that. He chose to do that. That will consistently be like your reassurance that you can fall back on when you ever think of, okay, maybe I have to start over complimenting more. Maybe I have to start doing more of this. Maybe I have to start getting the floor squeaky clean. Maybe I have to put my maid outfit on. Maybe I have to give him a handy and a footy. Like that way you don't lose your mind and start spiraling. You can be rest assured that anytime you start thinking, oh, maybe I got to compliment him more or tell him how amazing he is so that he knows I still like him. No, you don't. Maybe I have to do all this so that he'll still like me. No, you don't. Because when you were doing nothing, he still came up to you. When you were doing nothing, he still approached you. When you were doing nothing, he still asked for your number and wanted to get to know you. So that should allow you the peace of mind to know if I just continue doing nothing, nothing's going to change. Okay? He's still going to want me. He's still going to want to approach me. Now, where things can change is if I start overextending myself, thinking that I have to do the absolute most in order to keep his attention. No, you don't. Okay? He approached you because he wants you and wants to get to know you. Leave it at that and allow it to be that. Don't start thinking that you have to do a whole bunch of magic tricks and flips in order to make him like you more. You don't. Just let it build. He's going to approach you because he finds you interesting and fascinating. Once he does that, let that interest build upon itself over the course of time. It doesn't have to all be at once. It doesn't have to look like a teen drama. Natural, feelings don't build up in 5 minutes. They build up over the course of weeks and months and years, okay? And that's perfectly fine. I want you to be at peace with the fact that when he shows you interest and shows you the fact that he wants you, that is what that means. And not thinking that you have to overcompliment him. You got a nice t-shirt. You got a nice smile. You're the best thing since sliced bread. I love you so much. No, do nothing. Because in fact, when you're overcomplimenting guys like that, they can sense that you're overcompensating. They can sense that you're doing it because you're anxious or nervous that he might leave, or he might be looking at a different girl, or he might not want you anymore, or his interest might be waning. It becomes obvious to them when you're overextending, trying to say essentially, hey, look at me still. You know I like you and I want to be with you because I feel like you don't know that I still like you and I want to be with you. If you would know that I like you so much and I want to be with you, then maybe you would recognize that I'm still here. Don't look at the girl behind me who her dump truck is so massive it's spilling out of her jeans. Look at me. I want you to see me and notice me. Don't be that. Don't do that. Okay? Just keep doing nothing. Now, obviously, when a guy's your boyfriend, you can compliment him and tell him he looks nice. I'm not saying you never give a man a single compliment in your entire life, even if you're dating him. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you don't start using that as compensation to try to fill in the blanks where you're starting to say, oh, I feel nervous about the fact he might be losing interest. Maybe I should tell him, over compliment him, and then tell him how much I like him so that he'll recognize that I'm into him and he'll still be into me. That doesn't work, and it only makes you look desperate. Over complimenting and overly explaining your emotions. I like you so much, and I think you're so amazing, and I want to be with you so bad, and I want to get married to you, and you're just so the best. You're the best man. Like, you cannot overdo it. You cannot. You really can't. And I really mean that, because I know some of you, that will be your go-to whenever you start getting nervous or whenever you start getting anxious. I don't want you to do that. Remember, when that guy approaches you and comes up to you and strikes a conversation with you and asks you for your number, that is already sign enough that you need that he likes you. You don't need to keep thinking of different ways to get him to like you more, okay? And in fact, the ways that you get him to like you more is by strategically doing nothing and doing less, right, in certain instances, so that he has the space to continue pursuing you, okay? All you're doing after he approaches you and comes up to you and asks you for your number, all you're doing is managing and pacing. What I mean by that is you're managing the amount that he sees you and the amount that he gets of you, and you're pacing the relationship so that it's going in a positive forward direction each and every day, but it's never stagnating. That's what you're doing, okay? Managing and pacing, because we don't want you guys to go super intense, super heavy at the very beginning, and then there's burnout and a whole crash just a couple of months after that. And we also don't want you wasting your time in a relationship with a guy who doesn't have any interest in you, or it just stagnating at some point, right? We want to keep it escalating and growing over the course of time until he asks you to be his girlfriend, right? That's what we want for you. And so that's why I gave you guys these 5, so you're not making the mistake of coming across this way when you meet them or start dating them. Does that make sense to you guys? So do you guys have any questions about the 5 we just discussed? Number 1 was spend more time with me. Number 2 was reply to me. Number 3, overstay your welcome. Number 4, I'll change anything about myself. And number 5, over complimenting. Okay? Does that make sense to all you beautiful, beautiful people? Okay? Do you guys have any questions about that? Maria says, what to do if he wants to speak on WhatsApp, but he doesn't want to meet up? You want to know what you do? You stop wasting your damn time. Anytime a guy wants to chit chat endlessly with you and not actually meet you on, someone said, it's WhatsApp. WhatsApp. You guys don't know what WhatsApp is? You should know. Anytime a guy wants to chit chat with you endlessly and he's not trying to, actually meet you in person, it's a waste of your time. Just don't waste your time. Okay. Don't waste your time. Right? By the way, for those of you who have questions for me, and you want me to answer your situation, make sure you go into our Discord, and you go into the Discord and you ask your question in relationship advice or relationship advice premium, okay? Premium is only for people who donate to the show. So you got to go to that link in that bio, and the regular relationship advice is the free section for you guys as well. So those of you who are like, how can I get you to answer my question? You go into the Discord. I know there's lots of people in here, all right? Does that make sense? Toka says, what if you already did all those things you said not to do? Well, you're in a very tough situation. You're going to have to undo. I'd advise you to watch my shows on YouTube. Just above my head, go on my YouTube page and watch my shows on how to get your power back from a man. That way you can learn how to kind of undo the mistakes that you've been making, okay? That's going to require some withdrawing, and you're going to have to do some hard work, and you're probably not going to be able to speak to him for some time. And that's going to be painful, but you're going to there's going to be a decision made at some point. He's either going to decide that, he wants to continue talking to you and he wants to pursue you and take this seriously, and he's going to take a step forward, or he's going to say, I didn't really like her that much anyways, and then he's not going to talk to you ever again. Okay. Either way, that's actually good for you. Either way. Okay. Let's fix this here. Does that make sense? Teresa says, I'm currently doing the drawback and it is really hard. It is really hard. Of course, we talk about stuff in the Players Club, and I'll never pretend as if the stuff we talk about in the Players Club is easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, I understand it's difficult to not talk to a guy that you've been liking and you've been talking to and you've been getting used to. But at the end of the day, you have to understand you're doing it for your future. Okay. And so future you will be happiest if you actually get this right. And when I say get this right, I mean, if you actually go through the pain of not talking to him or withdrawing from him, and then he steps up and says, hey, I actually really like you and I don't want us to not talk and I want to take this seriously, then future you wins and is going to be happy. Because at the end of the day, if you continue going down the path of talking to a guy who's not giving you what you need and not committing to you, future you's only going to be more frustrated with present you, because future you is going to look back and say, oh my God, back when it was only 2 months in, I should have just let it go. Now that it's 2 years in, I've wasted 2 years of my life on a guy who I'm still friends with benefits with. And you're going to be wondering, what do I do now? Okay. Does that make sense? Right. Soma says, did you get the rest rest from yesterday's drama? I did. I got some emotional rest from yesterday's drama. So let's hope there isn't nothing crazy waiting for me in the Discord. OK, I'll even let you guys have a head start today for the Discord and let you guys know what's going to happen in a little bit here. At the in the third section of our show, we do a Discord time where all you guys who have questions for me get to ask me questions and I answer them live on the show. But you have to do it because obviously in the chat, you can only put a certain amount of characters. We do it in our Discord. So you go over to the link in my bio if you're on TikTok, or you go over to the link in my description if you're on YouTube, and you go into our Discord, and there's multiple options. There's the free regular relationship advice section there. There's the premium relationship advice section there, and there's also private relationship advice there, okay? If you go into either one of those channels, you'll see the instructions on how to utilize it. With premium, you can only put your question in if you donate to the show, okay? And when you donate to the show, you go to the same link in my bio on TikTok or link in the description. I get a notification because I see that it's your title, because you put in the title of your question and your username, okay? Or you can put it in regular relationship advice, but it does take me a while to get to them because, you know, there's many weeks that I haven't gotten to some questions because there's so many that I do, okay? So I'll just give you guys a head start in case you want to drop your question in there. So let's hop into our next segment of the day, okay? Our next segment of the day is going to be our React segment. Everyone spam up your headphone emojis. Spam up them headphone emojis. Spam up them camera emojis. Spam up them baby oil emojis. We finna get to reaction time. Okay, let's do this thing here. Let's do this thing here. I'm gonna just pull this up over here. Okay, we're gonna get to reaction time. It's reaction time. Okay. Pull up the right window. Whoopsie. Make sure I got the right window going on. This is the wrong window. We gotta do reaction time. Reaction time. Why is that like that? Okay, there we go. Okay. Here is reaction time, guys. Chat, chitty chat, chitty chat, chat, chitty chat. We're gonna hop right into it. So, by the way, you guys can submit to me different things for us to watch together. You guys can submit that via our Discord, by where there's Tomisin Reacts, and I take some TikTok videos from there. You can also submit them to me by mentioning me on TikTok, or you can, I've seen some of you guys DM me, but I have a lot of DMs, so it's hard to sift through those. But try to mention me on TikTok or send it to me on Tomisin Reacts, okay? Let's start off with, did we do her yesterday? No, we didn't.
A man will do what is best for him in any given situation at any given time, no matter what. The audacity that men hold, the audacity that men were born with, is something that every woman in the entire world should study, learn, and execute. I don't care if your entire conditioning as a woman was to be likable and agreeable and favorable and to accept conditions that you know are below you and beneath you just for the simple fact of avoiding conflict. I don't care if that's your entire conditioning. Today, you need to learn how to be more audacious and you need to become empowered by that. As a woman, you need to step into your power and own who you are. Own that you are favored by God because you are a woman. You are the human bridge from the astral to the physical. That alone is magical. Own your power and step into it, and do not ever put anyone above you. Ever. Ever. Get comfortable choosing you and really become empowered by the choice that you have to become audacious. I don't care if you've never been an audacious person a day in your life. You need to step into your power as a woman and learn how to choose yourself. Two things men know how to do is be fucking audacious, and they know how to put themselves first. And it's inspiring to see. And if anything has ever happened to you where a man has put himself first and it's made you question like, I'm confused. Don't ever feel like that. Take notes and learn how to do the exact same thing so it never happens to you again. A man will do what...
I feel like somebody hurt her at the end there. She'd be like, this one never happens to you again.
Question like, I'm confused. Don't ever feel like that. Take notes and learn how to do the exact same thing so it never happens to you again.
Damn, someone hurt her. It's okay. We've all been hurt. So I think she has a lot of point here. And actually, it's one of the things that I talk to you guys about, is that you have to start standing up for you. And even sometimes when we get into the discourse, some of the reasons why I get upset or I get, fired up is because sometimes you are expecting other guys that you're dealing with or guys that are taking advantage of you to be the one to say, oh, I'm going to stop taking advantage of you because it's the wrong thing to do. Guys will never think that way, and they're never going to stop taking advantage of you because it's wrong or the wrong thing to do. They're going to continue extracting from you as long as you continue to allow them to extract from you. So then the question becomes, when are you going to stand up for you and stop allowing a guy to disrespect you? And this is where you got to know what you want, know what you stand for, and know what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept. And the moment you find yourself in a situation where you're no longer willing to accept that, or this doesn't meet your standards, you have to be more than okay with walking away. And you can't live your life. I know you probably heard people that talk about manifestation and spirituality talk about abundance and an abundance mindset. That also very much applies to your relationships as well. You have to have an abundance mindset, not in the sense that, oh, I'm going to have a roster of 30 men, so I don't care about any of these men. I mean an abundance mindset in the sense that when I date people, I will eventually find the person that I'm looking for that I'll be able to be happy with for the rest of my life, and that will treat me well. Until I find that person, I will continue searching for that person. But what I'm not going to do is lower my standards based on the fact that I'm a little frustrated that I haven't been able to find my person, or that some of these men that I've been meeting have been trash. Because the moment you say, oh, well, some of these men are just trash, so now I'll just take one of these trash bag men. Well, don't be wondering why 2 months down the road or 2 years down the road, you're in a miserable relationship because you chose one of those trash bag men, or you're in a situationship still because you chose one of those trash bag men. You got to keep your standards high. You got to keep you first, and you got to keep investing in you. Okay.
What should you pay for as the woman? Welcome to...
Oh, by the way, guys, this is Nico from the Daddy Academy. I actually seen the other day, I think was it earlier today or was it yesterday? I see on his page, Nico actually follows me. So maybe some of you guys sent him a message because Nico follows me now. So maybe one day we'll collab. Maybe we'll collab soon. Okay. That could be coming soon. Me and Nico.
What should you pay for as the woman? Welcome to the Daddy Academy. All right. I would say this. All right. 5 dates in. If you're going to pay for something, I want you to pay for something out of respect for a good guy who is doing all the right things. Okay. Don't offer to pay if you feel like maybe you're losing a guy because he thinks you're cheap and you want to pay to try to win him over. That's not what we do. If you're going to pay for anything, it's because a guy is doing all the right things and you're throwing him a bone. You're not going to pay for a date though. You're not paying for the dates. Men pay for the dates, but you could pay for maybe an Uber. Maybe if you're bouncing from one place to another, you could get an Uber, right? Maybe if you go from dinner to drinks, you can get a round of drinks. You buy one round of drinks, something little something thoughtful, right? Just to show that I appreciate what you're doing. But he's still paying for the dates. He's still paying for 80-90% of everything. You could just throw in a little something here and there. If you're at the point where you're sleeping over, you can get coffees in the morning. Okay, something little, something cutesy. What should you pay for as the...
He was like 1 second from saying Demure. He was 1 second away. It was just on the tip of his tongue. It was the next frame he was gonna say it. No, but this is facts. I actually will take it even a step farther, because I know Nika would probably say this if the video was longer. But what I want to let you guys know is you cannot be doing those things for guys that you just met. It's not because you don't want to be nice. It's not because you don't want to, show appreciation or any of that stuff. It's because when you first start dating a stranger, you need to be aware. Remember, you're the woman, so he's pursuing you. You need to be aware of what his interest level is and what level of seriousness he's taking into this relationship. Because some guys might date you with no real intention of this going anywhere. So when you start paying for things or you start doing things from the very early on, he strategically says, oh, well, I really wasn't trying to invest too much in this anyways. So I'm going to take a couple of steps back and see if she continues paying, continues doing more, and continues doing more. And then he progressively does less while you progressively do more. Okay. So we don't want that. What we want, and I think this is what Nico's describing, is you, as time goes on and you actually see his investment and commitment and consistency here, that's when you show him a little bit of appreciation back. And it honestly doesn't even need to be something big. Just, for the sense that like, yeah, I'm not just over here like, I'm not going to pay for anything if you don't pay for it, right? Because obviously men want to feel like it's not just about the money. But that only happens once the consistency is going on for many months and he's there and he's taking care of you and you guys are growing and building something for real. Not with random strangers and not with guys that you're trying to like convince to like you more, okay? Guys that you're trying to convince to like you more, you're thinking if I start paying for stuff, he'll be more into me. No. Okay? The reason for that is very simple. We want to make sure that the guys you're dating actually like you and want to be with you and actually have intention enough in terms of being with you that they will want to do stuff for you, okay? Not that they're just, casually date you while I date 30 other women and I don't really care about any of this. I just want to sleep with you, okay? We don't want that.
What's the saddest truth about dating that I have experienced? Like this, when I think about this, it makes me want to quit dating altogether, but I ain't no quitter, so I'm not going to stop.
Damn.
But
okay.
The saddest thing is that the best...
She said, I ain't no quitter, so the only thing I'm going to stop. Okay. All right.
About this, it makes me want to quit dating altogether, but I ain't no quitter, so I'm not going to stop. But The saddest thing is that the best dating experience I've ever had, the best treatment I've ever gotten from men is when I don't like them. The men that I like, I barely answer my phone for you. Every time you talk to me, I kind of have a little bit of an attitude. Like, I don't want to stay up on the phone with you all night. I mean,
the men that you date probably like that, like how you said, I ain't no quitter, so I ain't gonna stop. You probably get some...
The saddest thing...
Probably gets their blood flowing type.
...is that the best dating experience I've ever had, the best treatment I've ever gotten from men is when I don't like them. The men that I like, I barely answer my phone for you. Every time you talk to me, I kind of have a little bit of an attitude. Like, I don't want to stay up on the phone with you all night. I'm barely here. That's when they want you the most. That's when you get the most attention. That's when they pursue you the hardest. Like, it's an unfortunate truth. And it's hard because as fun as that is and as satisfying as it is to like give nothing and get everything returned, that's not the type of person that I naturally am. Like naturally, I want to be in love. I want to be all up in your face. I want to be consumed with love. I want to be so blinded I can't see nothing else. But as soon as I turn that lover girl mode on, you don't know how to act. They just can't handle it. They do not respond well to that. And the real key to still getting that treatment from them is to just solely focus on yourself, to center yourself completely. Don't think about anything that he wants. Don't think about what he needs. Just think about yourself and fill your whole life with you. But sometimes it be hard because I don't want to be thinking about myself. I want to think about you. I want to daydream. I want to build a future, baby. What's the saddest truth about dating?
She's funny. So here's the thing for what Deja just said. When you're part of what I try to teach you guys in the Players Club is to help you understand that majority of you are attractive women, except for maybe a few. Majority of you, though, are attractive women that don't really have problems attracting guys. Okay, that's not your problem. And most of you, what it's really about is just understanding how to approach the guys that you actually like. That way, when because the mistake is, like Deja said, the guys that you don't like, you actually treat the ways that I would advise you to treat them, because you basically show them no attention and then they push so much forward towards you. But then when you like a guy, you're thrown out of whack. You're becoming desperate. You're becoming anxious. You start messaging him all the time. You start texting him all the time. Meanwhile, there's other guys in your DMs begging to take you out, but you're only focused on the one guy who's ignoring you. It's a vicious cycle. So what I'm trying to help you understand is the ways you are attractive to the guys you're not talking to and the ways you're unattractive to the guys you are talking to. And to kind of merge those worlds to understand, okay, even if I might feel this way, let me make sure I present myself a particular way so that he is the most attracted to me that he can possibly be. Because you can be a lover girl. And as long as you do this the right way, you can be that same lover girl while having that guy all over you as well. And then you win. You're happy. Okay? So it's all good. But that is kind of what we're building and helping you understand, and almost like reframing your brain, right? We're kind of reorganizing your brain and filtering out some of the bad stuff and putting some good stuff in there so that you can understand this better. And then when you approach guys that you really like, you're thinking to yourself, okay, I really like you. I want to be with you. But now I know I got to implement all the strategies of the Players Club so that you can really like me, because I don't want to be in a position where I'm just acting off of impulse because I really like you. I become desperate and then you don't like me anymore. Okay? Does that make sense?
Ladies, if you don't listen to anything I say, please listen to this. When it comes to dating, you see a guy, you see a young man that you find attractive that you would like to get to know, do not shoot your shot. And I know some of y'all so daggone hard-headed. Y'all gonna do it anyway.
Man, he's so country. I know some of y'all so dang on hard-headed. Y'all not gonna get it. You can't shoot your shot. You just gotta wait like the gators. You know how when you gator hunting, you so patient, you gotta be patient with it. Like when you gator hunting or when you deer hunting, you gotta be patient. You can't shoot your shot too early now.
A guy, you see a young man that you find attractive that you would like to get to know, do not shoot your shot. And I know some of y'all so daggone hard-headed. Y'all gonna do it anyways. I'm gonna go get what I want. I'm gonna make it be known. See, that's your problem. That's why it don't work out for you. The way to get a man's attention is just to be present. Just be present and look pleasant. Just be inviting. But you don't go up to no man and shoot your shot at no man. Not if you want to be taken serious. At least me, and I know opinions differ. I'm telling you, most men like to be the one to I can't even say most men because ain't no telling these days. The dudes I run with, we like to be the ones to, make the first move. Give me something to work for. Make me feel like I worked for it. Because y'all already be knowing. Make me feel like I worked for it. A dog is going to hunt.
What I tell you? I told you gonna say you gotta wait on it like you wait on them damn deer. When you out hunting for them damn deer, when you get that buckshot, you want to make sure you got it lined up. You got to be patient waiting on that deer and that gator now.
But when you shoot your shot at a man, or when you pursue a man, right, you kind of leave room for him to kind of just toy you along and play with you. That's not it, ladies. That's not it. You see a guy you like, right? Just be inviting, be friendly, even make a pass, walk by him. Just walk by him. Act like you in a store. You see a guy, walk by him. Ruffle through some men's clothing. I've done this. Hey, excuse me. What do you think of this shirt? Boom, conversation starter. It's a man that see you. He want you. He gonna come talk to you. A man that see you on Instagram, y'all liking each other. He gonna message you if he's interested. You ain't gotta be the aggressor. That's where a lot of y'all cause heartache for yourself. Let that man pursue you, but but obviously you need to be interested, right? Be interested, but don't be shooting your shot at no man. Don't be pulling up from half court, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. This is something your aunties and your mamas and them should have told y'all. Don't be shooting your shot at no man. I'm gonna go get what I want. That's your problem. That's your problem right there. Y'all not gonna listen to me though. Do what you want.
So this guy's funny, but what he's actually, the sentiment he's actually trying to say is, it actually can be a little bit disappointing. You know, the natural instinct of men to be hunters and to go for what they want. It can be a little bit disappointing to like have a girl take that away from them by being the pursuer of them. Now, here's the thing. He even mentioned this in his video. You know, some men might be a little bit different. They want you to pursue them. Here's the thing. What's actually happening here, for at least the straight heterosexual men, I can't speak on anything else, the straight heterosexual men that want you to pursue them, it's not because they actually want you to pursue them. It's because they want to make it easy on themselves. Why? Because if they're straight and they like girls and they can have girls come up to them and talk to them and pursue them, think about this. The filtration process is so easy. Now, instead of him spending a whole bunch of extra energy pursuing a whole bunch of girls if he wants to sleep around, he just has to sift through all the girls that want him, pick and choose which one he wants, way less energy spent, way less time spent. And think about this as well. Those guys that want girls to approach them, they shoot 100% from the field, meaning they get to sleep with any girl that they like. If they like a girl and all the girls come up to them and they're filtering through the ones that they like to get, now they never have to face rejection, because if all of those girls are coming up to them, they never have to worry about, do any of those girls like me? So that's why guys will say they like girls shooting their shot or coming up to them and things like that, because it allows them to not face rejection. And they know automatically that if I think you're interesting or attractive or I want to sleep with you, it's an automatic yes from you before I even have to do any work. So it's essentially a way, ironically, the men who want you to approach them are the laziest when it comes to relationships, because they want to do as little work and get that same result even more efficiently than the guys who are going to do the hunting. Are you following what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that you're not shooting your shot. Now, of course, you can be strategic. That's what being in the Players Club is. You become strategic about understanding how to put yourself in the eye line and eyesight of a guy, how to look at him in a particular way, and how to get him, or inspire him, we should say, to strike a conversation with you, and then it can go from there. But you don't want to be going out of your way to go out and talk to him and start a conversation with him. But you can be strategic when you notice him about putting yourself in his eye line, his eyesight, and then getting him to approach you. We've talked about that before, okay? Right? Oh, we did this one. We did this one yesterday.
I just can't stop looking at you. I just can't wait to meet your parents. I wonder what our kids will look like one day. I just hope they have your eyes. I just feel like we were meant to be together.
Hey, should we just move in together? We have the money. Well, you have the money, but...
This is crazy. This is insane. This is insane.
I just can't.
That's insane. So I actually think this is pretty funny here. How he was talking about how guys do when they ghost you, like the day before they ghost you. It's there's a larger point here though. You guys know that I like to make things deep. There's a larger point here though. Understand that he's drawing I heart you in the sand. Understand that when guys will overdo it, right? And you know when a guy's overdoing it. And it just, especially when he's overdoing it, like, so for example, a guy doing one of these things that you've been dating for 6 or 7 months is not unnatural. But when a guy, like, let's say, is doing this all in one day and you're just like, wow, you're super in love with me, you're super interested in me, and this is like week number 1, this type of stuff is very unnatural. And I guarantee you he's doing that to try to elicit emotion within you, overwhelm you with emotion. That way you make mistakes, because when you start seeing this, you start thinking, oh, you write, I heart you in the sand. You tell me you want to spend the rest of your life with me. That means we're basically married. And if we're basically married, I can basically open my legs and you can jackrabbit yourself inside of me for 90 seconds or less, usually less. And so by the time you make that mistake, and then he's like, oh, by the way, I hurt you like a friend, along with my other friends that I'm also seeing halfway and sleeping with as well. You'll be like, wait, what? I thought we were going to get married. Yeah, like married to our friendship. That's not, you didn't get that from that? You'll be like, what? Don't do it. Don't make the mistake. Don't make the mistake. Don't fall for the malarkey. And also take note of the signs. That over extra, you're the most amazing thing since sliced bread. I can't believe I ever met you. And you're just like it's too much. It's too much. And it's unnatural. Okay. It usually doesn't last. People aren't that intense. It's not realistic. Oops. There's a Benny boy. Let's go back to the beginning here.
You better start showing him some interest before you lose his ass. Too many of y'all try to be these avoidant Ashleys, so you can stand back and say, well, he never reached out. That's just a way for you to alleviate accountability from yourself. But let me tell you something, lady. He's going to go with the one who shows him interest because it's rewarding. See, if he's the one who always hitting you up all the time, and a couple of days go by and he doesn't hit you up, why are you even questioning, should I hit him up or not? Why are you even playing these games? Don't you want to find out if he's interested? Don't you want to show him interest so he says, wow, she actually is interested? Yes, now I want to go in more. Don't you understand how men work? And the answer to that question is no, you do not. Because if you did, you wouldn't have any problem showing interest to the guy that you actually like, because you will find out that fast, that quick, of how interested he is in you. Once you start showing him a little interest, that's the easiest vetting route for all you ladies. But too many of you guys are trying so hard, and you have an image of how this is supposed to go. He's supposed to do this. He's supposed to do that. You've been TikTokified. You've been watching too much bullshit. You forgot how this works. And God forbid, if he's a guy here that you're not his only option, sweetheart, he's going to go with the one with less friction. That's a fact. Because right now you're causing a lot of friction, girl. You're causing a hell of a lot of friction. And it's only for yourself. You better start showing.
Okay, I actually think Benny's very wrong here. Okay, nothing wrong with disagreeing with Benny. But Benny's very wrong here, because here's the mistake that happens. When you start thinking in your mind that if he's not showing me interest, I should then in return show him interest so that he knows that I'm interested, it's always a mistake. Remember what I told you guys at in the middle of the show when I said, when a guy approaches you, that is your confirmation that he's interested in you. So after that, you don't need to be worried about whether or not he's interested in you. So take it as a sign when he stops messaging you, either his interest is dwindled or maybe it's shifted to someone else. You have to start judging the signs. And here's the thing. Actually, he's actually proving my point in a weird way by trying to prove his point, because at the end here, he mentioned you're causing too much friction. So let's go over it again here.
Sweetheart, he's going to go with the one with less friction. God forbid, if he's a guy here that you're not his only option, sweetheart, he's going to go with the one with less friction. That's a fact. Because right now you're causing a lot of friction, girl.
Well, so that's the problem, right? Because when you start thinking, okay, in order to get him to like me, I've got to show him interest so that I cause less friction, you're becoming a pick-me. Then as soon as you become a pick-me, think about this. If a guy is only choosing you because you cause less friction, what is he now? He is, I think someone even said in the chat, he's a microwave man, okay? Meaning that he wants things quick, easy, and painless. How you pop something in the microwave because you don't want to spend a whole bunch of time prepping and cooking. He wants to pop you in the microwave so that he doesn't have to prep you, cook you, do any work for you. He wants it to be, like Benny just said, frictionless. But if a guy that you're dating is looking for the avenue that is the most frictionless, then he's actually not looking to build with someone or to pursue someone. He's looking for essentially someone to make it easy for him by coming to him also. But then by the time you do that, What do you think a guy in the mindset of I want it to be frictionless is going to be doing in your dates and in terms of princess treatment? He's probably not going to be trying to put his best foot forward. Why? Because putting your best foot forward requires consistency. Sometimes you might be a little bit frustrated. Sometimes you might feel like you're not getting the most back. Or sometimes, you just might feel like, damn, I'm really putting in a lot of work here. That's not frictionless. And so you'll end up with a guy that you're in a relationship with that is looking for the easiest route out, right? Looking for the path of least resistance in life and in your relationship. But that's not really going to work for you, especially at the beginning, because you need a guy that's going to be pushing this forward and constantly wanting to see you and get to know you more. Because I guarantee you, this is a function, what Benny is talking about is a function of the things that men say they want. And then when they get it, they don't respond to you in a positive manner. So what I mean by that is, I promise you, you take Benny's advice and you start reaching out to guys the moment you think that they're not as interested in you. Do that. You'll think, oh, well, the guy messaged me back, or I'm spending time with them, or blah, 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 blah. And then after a while, you'll wonder, well, Tomisin, how come I'm not getting the same princess treatment that I see these other girls getting? I see some of these other guys going head over heels for their girl, but I can't get my guy to do that thing for me. How come that's the case? Well, that's the reason. You chose a guy that was looking for a frictionless path. The guys looking for frictionless paths are definitely not looking to go above and beyond for their girl. So you have to be choosing the right situation for you and the right combination of things if you want that particular treatment. I wish I could show you guys. Oh, man. I want to show you guys a video of a creator. I'm going to go to this next video here. In the meantime, I'm going to try and show you guys a video of another creator that I want you to watch.
This is a piece of dating advice that's going to save you years of your life, okay? When people say, you have to kiss a few frogs before you find your prince, and like you're in your early 20s and you know you're dating someone that's like kind of like a loser. And you're kind of going, well, this probably isn't my forever person, but I'm young and this is the frog I'm kissing before my prince. Let me tell you something. You think it's just a frog you're kissing to get to your prince, but what's actually happening is the frog said, want to come over, I live in a swamp. And you're like, yeah, okay, kind of weird because I'm a human being and I live in a house. Like, who cares? I'll fuck around and chill in a swamp for a bit. But then become accustomed to the swamp. The neural pathways in your brain make you think, oh, this swamp isn't so bad. This swamp basically is a house. Meanwhile, the frog that you knew was a frog starts looking like a prince all of a sudden because you don't even know what a prince looks like anymore. Been hanging out with this frog so long, you're like, wait a sec. Is he even an amphibian? Now, you're accustomed to the frog. You're accustomed to the swamp. If a prince walked by and offered you a palace, you wouldn't even notice because you have no clue what your standards are anymore. Nice guys are coming your way. You're like, ribbit, ribbit. What I'm telling you here is you think that when you date someone like a bad guy, that you just get out of it and you're like, I'm reborn. Now I'm going to date only good guys. No, the longer you stay with someone that isn't good for you or like whatever, you do something to your brain and your standards are all fucked up. And let me tell you something. All the people I know that are chronically single just keep dating the same guys over and over and over. It's not that they're unlovable and it's not that there's no men in the world and it's not whatever. It's that their standards for dating are swamp men, frogs. They spent too long in the trenches. They never got out and saw the world. I think it's harmless, but it's not, because over time you start to normalize these things and behaviors and relationship expectations. Then you have kids with a frog. Your kid is half frog, half woman or man. And the kid's all weird now. This is a piece of dating advice that's going to save you years of your life.
I really want to show you guys this.
When people say,
It's going to take me 1 second
before you
to find
your
it.
prince, and like you're in your early 20s and you know you're dating someone that's like kind of like a loser. And you're
'Cause I
kind of going,
really
well,
want
this
you
probably
guys to
isn't
see
my
this.
forever person, but I'm young and this is the frog I'm kissing before my prince. Let me tell you something. You think it's just a frog you're kissing to get to your prince, but what's actually happening is the frog said, want to come over, I live in a swamp. And you're like, yeah, okay, kind of weird because I'm a human being and I live in a house. Like, who cares? I'll fuck around and chill in a swamp for a bit. But then become accustomed to the swamp. The neural pathways in your brain make you think, oh, this swamp isn't so bad. This swamp basically is a house. Meanwhile, the frog that you knew was a frog starts looking like a prince all of a sudden because you don't even know what a prince looks like anymore. Been hanging out with this frog so long, you're like, wait a sec. Is he even an amphibian? Now, you're accustomed to the frog. You're accustomed to the swamp. If a prince walked by and offered you a palace, you wouldn't even notice because you have no clue what your standards are anymore. Nice guys are coming your way. You're like, ribbit, ribbit. What I'm telling you here is you think that when you date someone like a bad guy, that you just get out of it and you're like, I'm reborn. Now I'm going to date only good guys. No, the longer you...
I wanted to find you guys this video of this girl. Her name is Nani. I think her name was. and I wanted to show it to you guys. I couldn't find it though, but I wanted to show it to you guys. It was this creator. She was dating a white guy, but you know, like the type of treatment she was getting, other girls were like, damn, where do you find this type of guy? I just wanted to give it as an example of, you have to understand what it is you're looking for in terms of treatment and things like that. And yeah, you might not end up with the guy who is, let's say, looks like, I don't know, Michael B. Jordan. And you can still end up with an attractive guy who attracts women, that looks good, that has money, that has all the things that you're looking for. But you just have to understand that in the process of looking for what you're looking for, you're also looking for treatment as well. So you have to factor that in the guys that you even entertain, right? You have to be looking at that as one of the qualities that you're assessing, right? How do you treat me? What's your level of interest in me? Because if you don't have a very high level of interest in me, I'm probably not going to be able to be in a relationship with you for real, because I'm going to have to beg for good treatment from you. And so part of being a woman as well is, it's unfortunate, but is finding guys that will treat you well, not just guys that look good, or just guys that look good and have money, or guys that whatever, right? You have to get a guy also that is willing and more than willing to treat you well and do the things for you. Actually, it perfectly aligns with this video because she's talking about how you can become used to poor treatment or horrible treatment from guys, thinking that, oh, I guess like that's just the thing that everyone goes through, or that's just the thing that everyone does. And so when a guy does come along and wants to treat you well, you can't even recognize that, because that hasn't even been the life that you've been living. You understand what I'm saying? So it's very unfortunate, but one of the things you have to look out for is the treatment there. Okay, you can't ignore the treatment whatsoever. And I like the analogy that she gave with the frog, because after a while of being in that damn swamp, you won't even know what the castle looks like anymore. Let's go to our next one.
If you're wondering what a man thinks about when it comes to situationships, this is it right here. I'm gonna call it like it is, and I hate to break your heart, but all men see it as is just a glorified booty call. That is right, you are a glorified booty call. You are like the worker that puts in all the work, that stays late, that, does work they're not paid for, free overtime, refills the water, does things goes above and beyond everyone else, thinking they're gonna get promoted, yet they never do. And maybe at best you get a pizza party for your hard work. But Eli, he's holding my hand. Eli, I met his mom. Eli, I went to the family cookout. I don't care. All I hear is you enabling being a rent-a-girlfriend. All I hear is you enabling the perfect situation for him. Men will keep you in a situationship and friends with benefits forever. And why wouldn't they? It's an amazing situation. Because just because you like him don't mean he likes you. Just because you want to be with him doesn't mean he wants to be with you. And honestly, I don't feel bad for you, because you have yet to verbalize your needs and wants and just accepted what is in front of you. And to want more, which you can and should ask for more if you want it, but you're probably going to get denied because you already accepted to pay $50 at a restaurant for table bread. And now you want a tomahawk steak. A man ain't going to give it to you, because why would he? And by you accepting the fact that you just want to be casual, he already psychologically puts you in a side piece bucket, not the wifey bucket. And if you're struggling to get out of it, it's not really a struggle, because it's not an actual relationship. I always tell people, if you're struggling to get out of a situationship, it's like telling me you're drowning in an inflatable baby pool. Girl, just stand up. And you can't stand up because you won't accept it. Take advantage of the power that you have. You are what you allow and what you enable, you beautiful person, you. And if you need help to grow, set boundaries like never before, link in the bio. My 8-week healing boot camp starts.
So, 8-week healing boot camp. Damn, he's gonna be healing you a lot. So, it's good. What he said was good here, and I actually like some of the things that he mentioned. Right, you can't waste a whole bunch of your time waiting for a situation to change. I know that he calls it a situationship, right? But waiting for a situation to change. And you can't live. The delusion is so easy to fall into. It's so easy to fall into. I know it is. That you're convincing yourself that the situation is not a situationship, and it's just a thing that's going on at the moment because of these particular circumstances. But the reality of it is the circumstances never change, and they always adjust to fit whatever narrative is necessary for the situation to continue. You will waste years of your life. We actually, in our Discord, had someone be in a situation, a friends with benefits situationship for 10 years. 10 years she spent in a situationship, friends with benefits, and never once did she get made a girlfriend. It sounds like a horror story, but it can happen to you if you just sit there hoping for things to change. Do not, like I say, gauge men's interest in you from the very beginning. Something you should be taking notice of. Does it come easy to you to treat me well? Does it come easy to you to actually put your best foot forward and actually try to be the best man for me? If that doesn't come easy for you, that's probably not the guy that you should be choosing or looking towards. Because at the end of the day, if you find yourself invested in a man who you have to beg just to treat you right or to do anything for you, you're going to be very, very miserable the entire relationship. Okay? Does that make sense? Right? Someone says, I did it for 4 years because the pineapples was good. I mean, yeah, but after the 4 years, you have to be thinking about future you as well. You can't just be thinking about current you. So after the 4 years, what do you have? Memories of sleeping with the guy? What is that really worth to you? The memories of sleeping with the guy. That you're not going to be able to build a relationship with that. You're not going to be able to get married with that. You're not going to, and actually in the 4 years that you were sleeping with that guy, you might have missed out on some great guys that you could have been with now. So think about it like that as well. Not only are you wasting time, but you're also possibly wasting energy because it's focused on this guy that you're sleeping with. But you might miss along the way an amazing guy that would have been ready to do all the things for you, that might have even more amazing schlong for you, have more money and want to give you princess treatment, but you missed him along the way because you were so focused on the friends with benefits. It's sad, but it's possible. All right, let's go to our next segment here. You guys know what our next segment is. It's a crazy segment. For those of you who are unsure, you got to spam it up in the chat if you know what segment is coming next. I want to know if you know what segment is coming next. Tell me in the chat if you know what segment is coming next. All right. Don't look at your clock. Don't look at your watch. Don't look at your phone. Don't look anywhere else in your home. It's a special time. It's an amazing time. It's a time where you're going to laugh and you're going to cry. Okay? If you don't know, I'm going to tell you so you know. Okay, let's hop into our Discord. For those of you who are confused, don't you worry, you'll learn something new. Discord time is essentially where all the amazing members of our Discord Players Club community get an opportunity to ask me a question about their relationship or situationship, and I answer it live on the show. So you have multiple ways of submitting your question that you can do here. So we have our regular relationship advice section here where you can submit your question. You just format it the way we all do it here. And you can drop it in there. Now you do that by going over to the link in my bio or the link in my description on YouTube, okay? Link in my bio on TikTok. You'll get there and you go to relationship advice and you drop your question. Now you can see all these highlighted questions. That's because I haven't answered them yet. So our oldest one is about 20 something days old. So it's going to take me a couple of weeks to get to your question if it's in the free section, because I got to go first come, first serve. Now, if you don't want to wait a whole bunch of time to get your question answered because you're impatient, that's perfectly fine. You have another option here, which is to drop your question in our relationship advice premium section, where you get to skip the line. It's like a VIP pass at a theme park, because I do these VIP. I do these premium questions before I do the relationship advice free questions. And you do that, you get access to the premium by donating to the show. So when you go into my TikTok link in bio or the description, you click where it says premium relationship advice. You donate to the show, and it's going to prompt you to put your title of your question and your Discord username. That way I get a notification on my phone and I can see and verify that that's you and that's your question and you paid for that question. That way we keep it fair for all the other members of the Discord. Now, if you also want to ask me a question and get my advice, but you just don't want your information out for everyone to see or your situation for everyone to see, you can also send me a private relationship advice question, which a lot of you have been doing. And you can ask me through our private relationship advice section as well. It's available in the link in here inside our Discord, or in the link in my bio or the link in my description where it says private relationship advice. You click that, fill out the form, you donate to the show, and I will answer your question via your email, and I'll send you a voice message, okay? And I'm going to be the only one that sees your message, so it's confidential and no one else will see it, okay? So let's get started with our first premium question of the day, which comes from Sis, okay? Should I not go out with him today? It's Anna. On Wednesday, we went out to sushi and gym. He said he wanted to take me out on Friday and Sunday. He said Friday afternoon or something along those lines, and didn't specify what time, but he said after his pilot test. I replied this morning to his last message that he sent yesterday night and told him good luck on his pilot test. He replied at noon saying thank you and that he just finished the test, and good news that he passed the first test, which he took a week ago. I said, I missed my place. I said, that's great. Congrats. 30 minutes after that, he replied and said, thank you. Did we plan a time today? Sorry, I can't remember. What do I say? I don't have other plans, so I can go with him, and I want to, but at the same time, I don't want him to get into the habit of not setting a time. What do I respond to fix his behavior for the future? Do I not go out with him, or do I go out with him but end it really short because I have other plans? Also, what do you think I should text back if I'm not supposed to go with him? Do I tell him what my other plans are like, or do I say I have a family dinner or something? I added a screenshot in case I confuse you. By the way, Habibi and Habibti are just Arabic words people call each other when dating. He just tried to FaceTime me now. It's been 2 hours since he sent that message, but I'm not replying or opening his message or FaceTime until you see it, so I can get your opinion to know if it's better to go with him or without him. Thank you, Thompson. So let's see your question here. Let's see the screenshot here. Good luck on your test. Thank you. Just got some good news. I passed the test. That's great. Congrats. Thank you. Did we plan a time today? Sorry, I can't remember. I think for the situation that you're in, Anna, because obviously I know there's some backstory to your situation and you've been seeing this guy for a couple of months now. I think you can simply respond with, no, we didn't set a time, and then allow him the space to set the time if he wants to set the time, okay? I don't think you have to go crazy and say, oh, you didn't set the time, you're such an idiot, blah, 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 and like make something up that you're doing. If you're free, that's fine. If it fits within like the rule of like not seeing him too much, if you're free, that's fine. But just answer the question straight and say, no, we didn't set a time. And then allow him to go from there. You're not going to be like, oh, well, so, yeah, we didn't set a time. So when are you free? And I'm free at exactly 3 p.m. No, let him say, oh, we didn't set a time. Okay, when are you free? Then you respond with the time that you're free. Then he says, okay, that works for me, or okay, that doesn't work for me. Does this time, you're going to go back and forth until you figure out the time that works for you guys both. Then you go out on the date. And I think that that's perfectly fine, okay? He's clearly asking to see you, and I get it's not ideal because, you know, he didn't set the time ahead of time, and I understand why you don't want that to become a reoccurring thing. But I don't think in this specific case that he means any, because he's obviously gone out on multiple dates with you before. I don't think he means any harm by asking you if you guys have set a time or not. And I think you can simply just respond with, we didn't set a time, and then allow him to take the lead from there. Now, if for whatever reason he didn't set a time and then he didn't respond to you after that, or just ignored that message, then that's something to be wary of. But I don't think you have anything to be concerned of, okay? Let's go to our next question here, which comes from... oh no, that was it in the premium. So now we can go to our free section here and get some of these free ones out the way. Our first one comes from Missy B. Okay, Missy B says, I want to know if I should stay or if I should leave or stay. Okay, I am 21 and I started dating thing guy. What? I think you might say I started dating a guy, 26, about 2 months ago. We met on Facebook. Okay, that's a first. Nice. Facebook better than Hinge, guys? Like Facebook dating? I know they have Facebook dating. You should have said that. He sent me a DM, or maybe it wasn't Facebook dating, and I replied, and we hit it off instantly. It's a DM. So that's not really hitting it off. It's a DM. You don't really know the person. We would talk literally every single day, you might say, for hours. Calls, texts, everything. Yeah. Starts great over text at the beginning. I wonder where this goes after that. He asked me to be his girlfriend in about 2 weeks, and I said yes. Let's take an early break here, chat. Let's take an early break here. Let's get a quick stretch out. Oh, God. Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. That's the real Facebook Marketplace, huh? That's when they said Facebook Marketplace, I didn't think that was the marketplace you guys were on. I gotta realign my chakras here, get a nice stretch in, make sure everything's all good. I want to be nice and relaxed when I answer your question. Crack my back, stretch it out. Okay. You start messaging a guy on Facebook Marketplace, basically. Facebook dating is like Facebook Marketplace, okay? You're messaging him, and first of all, you're not hitting it off with someone that you don't know and you've never met, okay? That's not hitting it off, because like, I hate to burst your bubble, but it could be a 75-year-old, like, scrawny Asian man behind that profile. Okay? Like, I just mean that to say it literally could be anyone. It could even be a 75-year-old Karen behind that profile. You have no idea who's behind that profile. You really don't. And so I just say that to say, you're saying we hit it off as if you've actually met the person. You haven't. Okay? I know it feels like you have, but you haven't. On top of that, it's only been 2 weeks. Wow. I don't think we ever had someone ask to be a girlfriend that early in. That's not natural. That's not normal. That's not either he believes that actually is how he feels, and he's really, really confused, in which case you don't want to be building a relationship with a guy like that, or he's using that to manipulate you, in which case you still don't want to be building a relationship with someone like that, because calling and texting doesn't mean anything. And asking someone to be your girlfriend that you haven't met in person is absolutely ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Note, we are long distance. He lives in another country about 6 or 7 hours away from me, but it's only because he is going to college there, but he lives in the country I live in. So what's your point? Are you justifying that he asked you to be his girlfriend in 2 weeks over Facebook Messenger because he lives in another country? That's not a justification. Okay. So you can wait till you guys meet each other at least a couple times before he makes that decision. So about 2 weeks ago, he came home for a little break from school, and we finally met, and it was an amazing experience. The date lasted like 2 days. Oh my God. Oh my God. What did I just tell you guys about keeping the dates short and sweet? And your first date lasted 2 days. And we slept together. Let's see how this continues to go. Let's see. Maybe I have no idea how this will go. Maybe I'm just completely confused. Shortly after, he had to leave the country and go back to school. I was sad to see him go, especially since the next time I get to see him will be until Christmas. But I became extremely attached to him more and more now since we had pineapples. What I notice about him is now he doesn't call at all unless I make the first move. Boy, oh boy. He even texts me less and less, and he went an entire 2 days without talking to me before. So I called him out about it, and he claimed he was busy with school and tired, but mind you, before we literally fell asleep on FaceTime every single night, right? Before he jackrabbited himself inside of you. What I want you guys to understand is guys can also be horned up and excited. So it's funny, as they're horned up, they're more excited to talk to you because they're feeling the buildup of eventually being able to sleep with you. And the fantasy is building in their mind, so their pee-pee is standing straight up because they're excited to talk to you knowing, oh, sleeping with you is just on the horizon. And every time they talk to you or have a phone conversation, I guarantee you when you guys were having the phone and FaceTime conversations, he was dirty talking with you as well. And you probably pulled your pants down to your ankles and you took a couple of pictures for him and sent it to him while you guys were talking over that phone as well. Or at least you guys dirty talked. And every time you do that, he's wanking himself, fantasizing about it just a little bit more. Wanking and wanking and wanking. He can't wait for the day he's going to burst inside you. And finally, he gets to see you. And of course, the first time he sees you, he bursts himself all over you. And now it's done. The excitement is gone. You have to start getting good at understanding that a lot of that over the top excitement is really, a lot of times it's horned up excitement or it's some sort of manipulation, because that's unnatural for guys to do when they first meet. Like, let's go on. So why is it different all of a sudden now? I just explained it. Anyways, so even after I told him about it, he is still distant. See, this is what you need to understand. Telling guys that they're not speaking to you, not reaching out to you, not texting you, not talking to you as frequently, honestly, it does nothing. That's why I advise most of you, whenever you peep that, to just take a step back yourself. Because truthfully and honestly, there's different reasons to communicate with someone what's going on with you and what's bothering you. But in the scenario where you're talking to a guy and what's bothering you is the frequency in which he reaches out to you or talks to you, there's no point addressing that, because that's not like a compatibility thing. That's not like a misunderstanding thing. That's just a he doesn't want to talk to you thing. So when you address that thinking you're communicating communicating, what's really going to happen is nothing. He's not going to change as much as he communicates to you or how frequently he messages you. He might message you a little bit more for the next hour or two, but he's going to go right back to what he was doing, if not totally ignore your message. And so you're wasting breath, because guys will still end up only talking to you as much as they want to anyways. That he is still distant to me, so I started giving him back the same energy. I stopped replying and calling, and eventually he started to text me more frequently. Not like before, but more than how it was recently, but he still doesn't call me anymore because he has no more wank fantasy. He was wanking to the fantasy of sleeping with you. He slept with you. Now there's no more wank fantasy. I want to know if I should leave him alone or continue to give him energy he is giving me. Although that method is kind of working, but our relationship is not fully back to how it was before. Will it ever be the same? Has he lost feelings for me or just gotten comfortable with me? Okay. I see a lot of people gave you some advice. This is you. I forgot to mention our conversations were very serious. We spoke about marriage, kids. He wants it all. Of course he does. When he's wanking himself off, that's part of dirty talk. Oh, I want to marry you. Oh my God, we're going to build such a great big family. Oh, when I burst inside you, you're going to be impregnated. It's dirty talk. Sometimes you guys gotta notice that, right? Like for some guys as well, you're thinking, oh, we were talking about like having children and building a family and getting married. Like for some guys, that's part of the fantasy. Like that's part of the dirty talk. I'm gonna bust a nut inside you and we're gonna have children. I'm gonna impregnate. Like that's dirty talk. You're thinking in your mind, oh, he's being so sweet and he's being so nice and he's telling me about how much he wants me. But like that's part of the wank fantasy. I'm not saying that to be mean to you, but I just want you to understand sometimes, because I know some of you are confused about that. But for some men, especially the men that are doing this at the very beginning, that's the wank fantasy. That's not what he really wants out of you, because that's just like who says that to someone they haven't, like he's saying this to you before actually ever meeting you. Imagine that. The guy is telling you he wants to marry you and have kids with you, and he has not even met you in person. He can't even verify if that's actually you. He probably doesn't even know your last name. He probably doesn't even have your other social accounts, because you guys are meeting on Facebook Marketplace. Does he even have your others? I'm dropping stuff. Give me a second, because I'm gonna get frustrated. I gotta pick up my stuff. This is ridiculous. What are you doing here? He was engaged in his last relationship, but she cheated on him. I even introduced him to my mom. No. Why? Why has the evil taken my people? The evil has taken my people. I've got to fight harder than Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace is trying to take my people and swallow them up and have them. No, I won't let them do it. I won't let Facebook Marketplace do it. I've got to be here every day. You introduced a man that you just met to your mother, that you started chit-chatting with on Facebook Marketplace. Why are you doing this? No, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to your mother? Don't you value your mother and value her time? Why are you introducing your mother to people you met on Facebook Marketplace? I don't understand. I don't understand. What? Before you even introduce him to your mother, why don't you take the time to see if you actually like the guy or know anything about the guy or can confirm any of the things that he told you over Facebook Marketplace is true? I miss how it used to be, but at the same time, I'm not about to stick around to deal with someone who is giving me half the attention he used to give me. Delete Facebook Marketplace. Delete Facebook, the app. Delete all Meta-related apps. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. Delete them all. Delete all your social medias. Let's put down the phone, okay? Put down the phone. We don't even need you having a landline, okay? Get rid of your landline. We actually turn off your Wi-Fi. We need to go to your house. We need to disconnect your internet, okay? No more internet for you because you're going to find a way to talk to people on some sort of marketplace if you have internet. I really mean this, Missy B, though. Like, get this man out of your life. Block him and I don't mean block him for him. Block him for yourself so you're not tempted to message him about anything because clearly you're a message warrior. You're capable of doing the calls and the texts all the time. Please stop wasting your time. I'm trying to tell you 99% of these guys you guys think you're in long distance relationships with, you have nothing with. 99% of the time, they just want the wank fantasy of talking to you, over the phone. And when they meet you, it's just to sleep with you and then poof, nothing. You wasted 2 weeks of your life. Why? Okay. You have plenty of things you could have been doing with your time in this 2 weeks other than being on the phone with him every day, texting him every day, and calling him every day. It's such a waste of your time. On top of the fact, really and truthfully, he came to see you the one time, but really and truthfully, is he going to do that consistently to build a relationship with you? No, he can't even be bothered to text you after he sleeps with you. So you have to start identifying he was only texting you and calling you to eventually sleep with you. Once he did that, he couldn't even be bothered to text you anymore. So do you really think for the rest of your relationship, he's going to even be bothered to go drive 6 or 7 hours to come and see you? Absolutely not. So Missy B, I'm going to keep it simple for you. Don't waste your time or energy at all. Don't even bother texting him anymore. And even if he texts you, don't answer him. Block him every single place you could possibly get in contact with him, okay? That includes Facebook Marketplace. Don't even allow him to sell you items. Block him on eBay so he can't sell you anything on there and start a message with you, okay? Block him everywhere. If he puts stuff up for sale on Wish, if he puts stuff up for sale on Poshmark, if he puts stuff off for sale on a secondhand store, don't go anywhere. We don't want you messaging him or contacting him for anything in any marketplace whatsoever. I really mean that, Missy B, because this is a complete and utter waste of your time. A guy who tells you that he wants you to be his girlfriend over the phone after the first 2 weeks of talking to you over the phone is absolutely in La La Land. And you're in La La Land if you're thinking that this guy is someone you should be entertaining, okay? I know that you want love. And I know that you're really hungry and thirsty for love, which is why you wanted to believe that this was real. It doesn't work like this. It really doesn't, okay? And unfortunately, anytime a guy makes you feel like it's going that intense, that fast, he's only manipulating you to get what he wants from you. Okay. I wonder if that guy even knows your last name and all the conversations that you guys had. Okay. Because you're talking about you guys had serious conversations. But like I said, marriage and kids can be part of the wank fantasy. So don't think that guys are talking about marriage and kids, but it's meant to be serious. Sometimes guys are talking about that, and that's part of the wank fantasy, because when they bust a nut in you, they want to be like, oh, I'm impregnating you. It sounds stupid and it sounds ridiculous, but it's honestly the truth. And I'm trying to give you the perspective so you don't get fooled in the future thinking anytime a guy talks to me about marriage or kids when he first meets me, that means he actually wants to be with me. No, it doesn't. That's part of the wank fantasy. And so all of this was a waste of time. You need to apologize to your mom for wasting her time. Don't do that anymore. I know that you're young. Don't be introducing random strangers to your mom. Okay? Don't do that, because your mom is supposed to be sacred in terms of like meeting someone you really taking seriously and like you really want to build with. Like that should be the step that you take when you're sure of the person. You don't introduce your mom to strangers. Why? Because she's not going to be able to take the actual person you're taking seriously when you constantly introduce her to strangers. Keep that sacred. Don't waste your mom's time like that, even by introducing her to randos that you met in Facebook Marketplace. Okay? Block him. Everywhere. Turn off your Wi-Fi. Okay? Let's go to our next one. Okay? Let's go to our next one. Haley. I've never seen Haley spelled like that. That is crazy. Okay. Haley says, should I initiate conversation with him? So last month I met a guy when I was on a night out with my friends. So the club or the bar. We had an instant spark at the club or the bar. Drunk. I think there was a spark in his pants, not a spark between you. And we straight away got to talking, and it was like we've known each other our whole lives. Oh my God. Don't you guys see? You guys get fed the same lines all the time. This is not real. Going out, being drunk, having drunk, hyper conversation with someone you just met doesn't mean you guys are getting along. I get it. I was young too at one point, and I thought going out and being drunk with people and when we start having conversations, we're laughing. I thought these were all going to be my best friends for life. And oh my God, all these people I'm literally in love with, and everything is going amazing. The reality of it is when you have drunk energy and you're out on a night out and you're partying and the music's blasting and you got the 808 pumping through your chest and your adrenaline's rushing, you got sugar in your veins, everyone seems like your best friend. The truth of the matter is, when you wake up on Monday morning, you don't have as many best friends as you had on Saturday night, okay? It's just a painful realization that we all have to go through. That goes to friends, and that goes to romantic partners as well, okay? Not saying this to demonize drinking. I used to drink a lot before I quit as well, but it's just part of the feeling that you get whenever you meet people on a night out. It's if you meet someone on a good night out, it can feel like, oh my God, we're going to be together forever. Let's see how you feel about that same person on a Tuesday afternoon when there's no drinking involved and no music, okay? Very different. I should mention that he is a little bit older than me. We did end up making out for a while, but nothing else happened. I mean, you're in the club. I would hope nothing else happened. You're in the club or the bar. How much can happen in there unless he took you into the bathroom? That would be ridiculous. He lives in a different city, and he was in my city on holiday, so I didn't get the chance to see him again before he had to travel back home. After that, we started messaging and talking for a while. Every couple of days of talking, the conversation would come to an end. He would usually wait a couple of days and then message again, except for this time. This time, as the conversation was about to end and there was no way of replying to his last message, I just liked the message and did not reply. He has not messaged again, and it's been almost 2 weeks. Should I be the one to initiate another conversation since he has always been the one to do that. I see how maybe my lack of reciprocation can be understood as though I am not interested because I was never the one to start the conversation with him. No, this is justification. But everyone keeps telling me that it's his job to initiate conversation in this stage. If he wanted to, he would message. Absolutely. Should I wait and see if he would ever message again, or should I message him? Do not message him. Okay? Do not message him for any reason whatsoever. Don't reach out to him for any reason whatsoever. Okay, what I want you to understand, he's a little bit older, right? You didn't say your age in the message. I'm assuming you're old enough to drink in whatever country that you live in. So let's assume at least you're 19 or something. Here's the thing. You have to understand, meeting someone on a night out and having a good time with them on a night out doesn't mean that you guys are actually compatible or anything at all. When you meet someone on a drunk night out, 90% of the time, it's just going to be the drunk night out. Or at the most, it might end up being you guys constantly go out, get drunk, and do whatever together. But for the most part, especially when you're meeting someone on a drunk night out that doesn't live in your city and they're just there visiting or something like that, I can assure you majority of the time that conversation is going to die off. And I'm not saying that, like, I don't want to turn you into a pessimist that doesn't believe anything good can happen, but like, let's just be so realistic. When someone comes to visit your city and they're getting drunk and they're just out with friends, they're just there to have a good time for that weekend. When that weekend is over, they go back to having their normal, everyday, regular life, meaning they go back to work, they have their friends in their city, they have their problems in their city, their family, all their stresses, all their stuff is in their city where they're from. And they go back to reality after visiting that city. And so I just say that to say, like, your expectation is that because you guys made out and had a good little chit chat while drunk in your city, you're thinking he's going to go back to his city and want to continue that. But in reality, you have no idea what's going on in his life back in his city. He could be married. He could have a girlfriend. He could be in another talking stage with a different girl, or he could very simply just say to himself, I think she's cool to make out with on a random night out, but I don't have any intention of actually being with her or actually, being in a relationship with her. So why the hell am I going to message her consistently when I know I'm not going to that city and in the near future? And what you're probably going to notice is up until you're not going to hear from him again until the next time he's about to go to your city. So I guarantee you the next time he'll probably message you is when he's about 3 to 4 days from coming to your city. So the beginning of that week when he's about to be in your city that weekend, that's when you're going to get a message from him as basically like a heads up. That way he can invite you out. You guys can maybe go out together. You can meet him there. And he's probably thinking, I could probably get a smash that same weekend because I already met her a previous weekend. That's really the only time you're probably going to see a message from this guy. Other than that, I wouldn't be banking on ever getting a message from him again, simply because he's now moved forward to his own city. It was great to message you the first couple of days coming off the high of seeing you last and things like that. But I guarantee you, as the time went on, he's going back to his reality and he's not going to be messaging you consistently as if he's trying to date you, because he's not. I'm not saying that you're a bad person, Haley. I'm not saying that you're not worthy of a guy wanting to date you. I just want you to understand that making out with you on a random night out doesn't mean that he actually wants to pursue you or be in a relationship with you. And so you need to realize that and just cut your losses, because now you're stressing over a guy that I don't think is even really thinking of you, to be honest with you. And I think depending on how drunk he was, he may or may not even be able to identify you in a crowd. Okay. And I really mean that. You'd be surprised. When people get drunk, sometimes they don't be remembering stuff. So you're thinking this meant a lot and it might not mean that much to him. I say that to say, don't waste any more of your time or energy wondering what he's doing or why he's not messaging you. I think you should just move on. Okay. And like your friends told you, if he really wanted to pursue this, he would just pursue this and talk to you more. Guys don't just forget about you randomly, meaning that if he's been contacting you and he's been messaging you, he didn't just randomly stop because he thought you were, just don't justify it. Don't tell yourself a story. Don't build a narrative in your head. You're only building that narrative because you want to message him because now you're anxious. It's all untrue. The real truth is he's just not interested in you. Okay. You got to swallow that pill. It's a tough pill to swallow. Once you swallow it, digest it, you poop it through your system, you'll understand and you'll be okay. And you can move forward and actually meet a guy who wants to be with you. Okay. But that's the first step. Let's go to our next one here. I'm going to do a couple. Let's go to K. So K says, advice, 20-year-old female college student. What did I do wrong in this situation and how can I be better in the future? I met a guy last October during my second year. Excuse me. He asked for my number and we started texting. We met at the library after a day of texting where he helped me with my homework. Later on, we watched a movie in his room. We met at the library after a day of texting. So later on that day, after meeting in the library, we watched a movie in his room and hugged, but that was it. The next day, so the second day after meeting him in the library, I went over again and things escalated where we kissed and he went down on me. I slept over, but made it clear that I wasn't ready for pineapples. He mostly wanted to see me on weekends and rarely made an effort to meet during the week. Despite us being in the same school, I began to suspect I wasn't the only girl he was talking to. Especially since he frequently texted another girl. How would you know that? He claimed they were just friends and that he was supporting her because she was feeling like unaliving herself. Now, obviously, that's not a joke. That's not what I'm laughing at. What I'm laughing at is guys don't do things for no reason. I'll just say that, okay? But it made me uncomfortable. I got attached to him because of how close we were physically. Even though we weren't officially dating, we initially told each other we weren't looking for something Okay. Why would you tell a guy that you're not looking for something serious? What are you expecting out of a guy that you told you're not looking for something serious? Chat. This gets me really upset. Please, Kay, and any of you that have done this before, stop doing this. Just stop doing it whatsoever for any reason. If you know you're not looking for anything serious, just don't even bother talking to guys. Because all that's going to happen is you're going to say that at the beginning. You're going to have fun with the guy. And then down the road, you're going to be saying, yeah, I know I was looking for something serious before, but now that I've been enjoying myself, I want this to be more than just fun. And he's going to say, whoa, I was just having fun with you. No takebacks. Either we continue having fun or I'm going to go do something else with someone else. You're going to be sad and upset because you're going to be wondering, why does the guy who I told I wasn't looking for something serious not take me serious? Precisely because that's the expectation that you set. And once you set that expectation, you can't recover from it. So do your future self a favor and don't be approaching guys from the standpoint of I'm not looking for something serious, because future you will be very angry at yourself now for making that decision and making that statement. Please never do that. Never. And if you really aren't looking for something serious, don't even date the guy. Okay? I just said it because I wanted to seem laid back and not too into him. That's a mistake. That is a mistake. You don't ever be thinking about how to be the fun girl or the yes girl. You think about how to set boundaries and expectations and be clear on what you expect. That's all you think about, not how to be the yes girl or the fun girl. There were times where I felt pressured to have pineapples, but I always said no. Of course you feel pressured to have pineapples when your pants are at your ankles. Actually, your pants are off and your legs are spread wide open and his face is buried in between your legs. Obviously, you're going to feel pressure to have pineapples then. There's a lot of pressure in between your legs. Like, oh my God. Okay, you cannot put yourself in temptation's way and then wonder why you're feeling it's very hard to say no. It starts not even just with taking off your clothes, but going over to his room, okay? Because he's probably in the dorms. Going over to his room. That's all. Once you're in his room, laying in his bed, and it's just you and him, that's already a recipe for disaster, especially if you don't know how to like say no or stand your ground or to like literally like not put yourself in that position. Like that's already the start of something bad. You can't be doing that. And so you're saying that, and then you're saying now your legs are open and stuff like that, and he's going down on you. And obviously you're making it so hard for yourself to continue saying no. Like you're doing that to yourself by putting yourself in that position. Okay? Well, someone says, what does pineapple means? It's sex. Okay? We just can't say it all the time on the show. The platforms are sensitive. He once accused me of lying and being a virgin. He apologized, but things were never the same. He started ghosting me for months, and on my birthday in January, he didn't wish me happy birthday until much later. What do you mean? Like until like the days after your birthday? What the hell? I blocked his number and Insta after being tired of waiting to hear from him. In May, he messaged me on WhatsApp. You should have just blocked that too, saying he missed me. He mentioned he'd switched colleges, but didn't tell me. He asked for intimate photos. Tell me you added this as a joke. Tell me that you added this part as a joke. There's no way that on the first message is back, when he just got hold of you after you blocking him on everything, he messages you on WhatsApp, and within 24 hours, he's asking you to take pictures of you in the mirror with your pants at your ankles of your dump truck. Which I refused, wanting serious talk. How did you possibly actually continue to talk to him after that? No, like, do you not have any respect for yourself? Like, what would even make you say the guy that approached you blocked the man instead of him showing remorse for what he did? He tells you he switched colleges, says he missed you, and then asks you to go take a picture of your dump truck in the mirror with your pants at your ankles. And you actually are still thinking about entertaining a conversation with him. I don't get it. I don't understand why you can't draw a boundary. I don't understand it. I don't understand why you can't draw a boundary here. I think you just don't respect yourself. The call ended quickly. I can't believe you even called him, or you guys even spoke on the phone. He didn't call back as promised, so I blocked him everywhere. My friend said he wasn't good for my mental health and advised me to stop trying. You should. To avoid being used by guys, especially since I'm introverted. How can I ensure I don't end up in a situation where someone doesn't value me? Very simple. You don't go over to their room, sleep over, and spread your legs and allow him to go down on you. That's number one. So it starts with being aware of how things can escalate. Stop going over to guys' houses. Okay, I really mean that. You're in college, right? You're in college, you're in school. That's one of the worst things you can do, okay? As someone who attended both university and college, I know what it's like, especially when you're in your first couple of years and people are living on residence. Do not be going over to guys' residence. Don't be going into their rooms. Don't be going over to their dorms. Don't be going over to their apartments. None of that, okay? They're all horned up. If a guy wants to date you, he can date you. There's lots of public areas for you guys to hang out on campus. There's lots of public places for you guys to do things and hang out and spend time and walk around if he really wants to get to know you. You can study together. You can go to study hall. You can go to the library. You can go to the eating cafeteria. Lots of places for you guys to spend time. The guys that are trying to get you straight into their room or into their dorm, they're trying to pull some fast stuff on you, okay? So that's number one. Number two is, to be honest with you, I really think you got to vet guys that are even telling you they want to date you. So if he's telling you he wants to date you, he needs to actually be dating you, not just, seeing you and hanging out with you on study hall. If he really is serious about dating you, then he should be taking you out for a date, not just hanging out with you in the library and then wanking himself off to your dirty talk on the phone, okay, or your pictures. That's not dating. And even in college, I don't care how broke you guys are as college students, you can use some of that little extra money you got that you're getting for your food and your meals, that he can take you out on a date if he's really that serious. You need to be gauging if the guys that you're dating are really that serious, because I think that's your mistake, Kay. You're assuming that guys are serious simply because they're talking to you. And you're not understanding that guys are horned up in college and they could be talking to you just to sleep with you, not because they're seriously trying to get to know you, right? And that's the confusing part for you. So you need to be not going over to any guy's house, not getting drunk with him, not getting high with him, because guys are going to do that a lot in college too. They want to get you drunk or they want to get you high because they know you'll start making mistakes when you do that. You don't need to be doing any of that stuff with the guys that you're talking to or that are saying they want to date you up until you guys have actually established trust here. And this is actually like your boyfriend type of thing, okay? Not any time before that, because any time before that, the guys are just going to use that to their advantage. They're either going to pressure you or they're going to put you in a position where you feel like you want to say yes because you're so tempted now, okay? Because I guarantee you, enough times that you sleep over and a guy eats you out, you're going to eventually say yes. Okay, so one of these times that a guy comes over, he's gonna be good at what he does, and he's gonna go down on you nice, and you're gonna feel so good about it. You're gonna be like, all right, put it in me, and you're gonna lose your mind, and you're just gonna be a lot of mistakes, Mistakeville. We don't want that for you. So you got to vet those guys, and don't be allowing things to escalate by going over to their house in the first place. Definitely not guys that you're just meeting as well. Okay. All right, chat. So that's the show for today. If you guys have any questions on me or that you want to ask me and you want me to advise you on, you can go ahead and put your question in Relationship Advice Premium or our private relationship advice. You access both of those through the link in my description on YouTube or the link in my bio on TikTok. Let me go over to our donations here. We had one donation that came from Nicole. Thank you, Nicole. Nicole be donating all the time. I appreciate you, Nicole. Nicole says, you already know why I'm sending this. LOL. No matter how many stretch breaks you take today, have an awesome weekend. We love you, Thompson. Thank you so much, Nicole. I love all of you as well. Okay, I probably love you all more. All right. So for those of you who are wanting to follow me on Instagram and, get a little bit more up close and personal with me, my Instagram is right above my head on the top left corner of the screen. You can follow me there. It's just Thompson_Tub. And for those of you on YouTube, it's just Thompson_Tub. It's on the bottom right corner of the screen as well. Okay. For those of you who are on TikTok and you missed parts of our chat here or parts of our show, or maybe you came and you're like, I wanted to know the points, you can go onto my YouTube page. It's just Tomisin Atobatele. Just type in my first name. You don't even need to type all the rest. And then once you type in my name on YouTube, you'll be able to go over to the live show, right? And you'll be able to go in the live section of my YouTube page. You'll be able to see this live stream along with all the other live streams I've done since the beginning of time. And the best part is you'll have the YouTube and TikTok live chat embedded in the video so you don't miss a second of conversation, okay? For those of you wondering, I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday, if you ever want to know when to catch me right on time. Every weekday, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm not going to be here tomorrow. Obviously, today's Friday, and I'll be here again on Monday. Okay? So until then, goodbye for now. Hasta la vista. Sayonara. Ciao. Salam. Adios. Bon voyage. And I will see you all again on Monday. Also, I'll see you on YouTube because I'll be posting on YouTube throughout the weekend. All right? Have a great rest of your weekend. Stay safe. Try not to get played by guys. And, have a good, great, awesome, loving, amazing weekend.